win today might be the perfect Hollywood ending.
That's what makes this place so much fun and so exciting. This is incredible.
That's a man on a mission. I do it on my own. Man, everybody watch this. Jimmie Johnson to the flag. Ooh, baby, of course. I got the leatherwood green in my coat. Right, I got the rims and the spinning, dog. And we winning, dog. It's free well, feel well. Can you feel me, dog? I be in my zone. I got this, I'ma do it all.
Beautiful day in Southern California as Kyle Larson leads the field out on the first of pace laps here. Welcome to Fox coverage of the Auto Club 400 from Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California, adjacent San Bernardino and just east of Los Angeles. Let's have a look at today's starting lineup.
Boy, all eyes are on our pole sitter, Kyle Larson. Won the Xfinity race yesterday. He's on the pole today. This track suits his style.
Tell you, I'm going to be keeping on that Vegas winner right there, Martin Truex. This is one of his tracks he runs pretty well at.
Row 3, last week's winner Ryan Newman and Matt Kenseth won 3 times here.
Yeah, and Kevin Harvick, another guy that won here 2011. He's been runner-up the last 2 races. Keep an eye on that 4 car.
Kyle Busch strong last week and a 3-time winner here with his teammate rookie Daniel Suarez. Then Austin Dillon and Casey Kane, who won here in 2006.
And the young guns on row 7, Chase Elliott and Eric Jones. Eric Jones has been so impressive lately. A lot of speed, a lot of confidence. Keep an eye on that young man.
Kurt Busch, the 2003 winner here, one of those drivers that got into the wall in practice.
And in row 9, Clint Boyer and Dale Earnhardt Jr. going to the rear with that cut tire. But Boyer, I think you're seeing some gains coming out of this team.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. will go to the rear. Ryan Blaney won points in both stages the last 2 weeks with Chris Buescher. Rookie Ty Dillon and birthday girl Danica Patrick.
What do you say we talked to last week's winner, Ryan Newman? Hey, Ryan Newman, it's DW. Got a copy there, my friend.
Got you loud and clear, DW.
All right, my man. Last week, while Cool Hand Luke was sitting in the pits, you were out there cooking in that race car. Are you recovered, and how do you feel about today's race?
Well, I still got a few blisters, so I'm not totally recovered, but the champagne sure felt good. So got a pretty good Caterpillar Chevrolet here today, and a whole lot of fun racing this racetrack. So I think we got a good car, and we'll just work hard at it.
Yeah, really nice qualifying run, and now Jeff Gordon's going to talk to you, crew chief.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's talk to Luke Lambert. Hey, Luke, great call last week, putting Ryan in position to win. Is gambling in your DNA, or was that out of character for you?
Well, when the odds are good, it's easy to gamble. So, we had a really good Granger Chevrolet last weekend, so it made it an easy call for us to make, given the circumstances that we had. So hopefully we're in a good situation to make a gamble today, and we'll see how it plays out.
Well, we certainly look forward to watching. Have a great race. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Their team owner is NASCAR Hall of Famer Richard Childress, who had this reaction to last week's win.
To win after 3 years, you start questioning yourself, when is that win going to come? When's it going to come? It was just a relief to be able to see that car go across there and win the race. I was thrilled. The whole company is just pumped from one win like that.
1 week later, the infield is jammed to overflowing and the grandstand is packed here in Southern California. We'll get down to pit road beginning with Matt Yoakum.
Mike, communication will be key in the Brad Keselowski pit today. Crew chief Paul Wolfe is not on the box. He's serving a NASCAR suspension. In his place, the team's former lead engineer and Xfinity crew chief, Brian Wilson. Now, he's been with this team before. He knows the personalities and best how to communicate with their driver, Brad Keselowski, during the event. The last time he filled in for Paul Wolfe was 2015. They finished third that day in Phoenix. Jamie Little?
Jimmie Johnson's California homecoming didn't get off to a great start. On Friday in first practice, he lost control and wrecked his primary car, so the team brought out a backup. But they didn't want to take any more risk. They opted to sit out qualifying. So today, Jimmie Johnson is starting in the back. However, the rest of the field is on old scuff tires. Jimmie Johnson, because he didn't qualify, is on brand new sticker tires. Watch for that to be an advantage early for the 48. Vince?
Well, it's been an eventful 24 hours for Chase Elliott and this 24 team. In final practice yesterday, Chase got into the wall. The car suffered some pretty significant right rear damage. In fact, the team worked on the right rear up until about 90 minutes ago. Crew Chief Alan Gustafson told me, said anything that takes away from refining the details of the car can be a distraction, not to mention how the aero might be affected in the right rear. That's one of the concerns as Chase Elliott gets ready to roll off 13th. Larry Mack?
Yeah, Vince, it's going to be a busy day on pit road. The strategy's easy. Every time that yellow flag flies, to pit road for 4 Goodyear tires. So a lot going on pit road today. Let's take a look at the weather. Kind of overcast, low 60s. Now, if that sun comes out, it absolutely will get very, very slick. These drivers will be looking for grip. The race analysis, 200 laps and 400 miles. There you see stage 1 and 2. 60 laps, the final stage, 80 laps. Pit road speed, keep a watch on that, 55 miles per hour. The fuel window, 40 to 44 laps. And our Goodyear grip level on a 1 to 5 scale, it has no grip. It's down to a 1. These are the drivers that would be going to the rear, including Dale Earnhardt Jr. for that unapproved tire change, Mike.
Yeah, they discovered that this morning. Dale Jr. tweeted a picture of it. The tire had a cut in it after qualifying. NASCAR used to impound the tires after qualifying if you had to start the race on them, but now, due to RFID chip technology, NASCAR knows what tires you used for qualifying. The team's allowed to keep them until Sunday, but they have to be on the car when you start the race or you go to the rear. Now, in practice, boy, we saw drivers just surfing down the back straightaway over the bumps.
Drivers look like bobbleheads. You know, you're going down that back straightaway. Watch this car hop up and down, man. Jeff, that back straightaway is terrible.
Oh, look at the load on the splitter, the skirts, the tires, and the drivers.
So
lots of sparks flying.
Have the teams adjusted that out of the cars for today, or are we going to see more of the same?
Well, you see the teams really get aggressive in practice, trying to find some extra speed, and they'll give up a little bit of ride quality, but usually for the race, they'll tune it in.
Compromise, Mike, compromise.
There's our surf wagon, Michael McDowell's painted up like a surfer dude there. Today, the 2017 Toyota Camry XSE will lead the field to green. And on the caution laps, it's about to make that sharp left turn, and when it does, we are ready to go racing.
Yeah, we're out here in Hollywood. We're probably going to have a Hollywood ending. They say all the gold is out here in California. We're going to find out. A couple of 100 laps here, see who takes the victory lane. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. Oh, trouble. Wow, that almost was a wreck.
Already.
Denny Hamlin did not get going, and look at him stack up in this traffic jam.
Big heavy damage to the left rear of the two.
Man, I don't know how you say. I don't know how Keselowski held on to that car. I'm not so sure he doesn't have a. Do you think he's got a left rear down?
Usually when we've seen contact like that in the left rear bumper, that fender will get up there and possibly cut the left rear tire.
It's definitely pushed in, right? You can see right there, folks, that thing is pushed in.
Kyle Larson leads the first lap, but look at this inside lane on the initial start.
Oh, he made contact with the 11 of Denny Hamlin. That held him up, and then the domino effect from behind with Newman made contact with the 2.
Yeah, Hamlin just didn't go, and Keselowski was ready. And
well, I think the 2 pushed him a little bit and got the wheels up off the ground, the 11. Yeah, he just made a little bit too much contact on Denny Hamlin.
But Hamlin's car did not take off at the green flag.
A little sluggish.
Keselowski has dropped to 17th.
Yeah, that's. I'm sure there's concern about that left rear because it doesn't take a whole lot to cut these left side tires down.
His teammate Joey Logano, who started towards the back, already up there side by side with his teammate and making that pass. Certainly got to be a lot of concern for Brad Keselowski in that left rear tire.
A lot of times, Jeff, you know this, they'll get somebody to pull up beside them. I know we're under race condition, but another car will come alongside, take a look at that and say, I think you're good. I don't see any rub. Of course, we don't see any smoke. So he's probably okay.
You're going to see 3 wide all day, 4 wide, and occasionally 5 as they stack up here.
There's also the aerodynamic disadvantage that may be happening with that 2 car as well as we go up here for third.
Oh, it's a car around.
2 car.
Yeah, I think that
left rear probably went.
I think it did. Now we know why he was nursing it. I think he was probably feeling that coming.
Running 18th, Brad Keselowski goes around.
Oh, he's saying he got run over.
It's Clint Boyer on the outside.
He's stuck in the middle here between Clint
oh boy.
and the 13, Ty Dillon. Jimmy Johnson from behind.
Yeah, I think Johnson might have tapped him a tad.
But, you know, you talked DW, he was nursing it, and because of that, others were taking advantage of it and putting him in a very vulnerable position. He got loose. He had to check up. Jimmy's coming with momentum. More damage to the left.
outside.
Boy, this is not the way you want to start a race. Oh, my God.
Almost 4 wide right there.
Behind you, outside.
Now, Keselowski was 17th. Jimmy Johnson was in a heck of a hurry. He did not get to qualify, had to start last. He was whipping his way through the field, and then he came up on that log jam.
Well, I think it's one of those racing deals. When we take a look at this on replay, you're going to see the 13 of Ty Dillon. He's down under Keselowski. See a little damage on the 48 here.
A little bit of damage to that right front corner.
Not near as bad as what's on the 2.
Here's Jimmy Johnson's radio.
I don't think I hit him very hard, but I did touch him. Dang it, sorry. All right, guys, I got hit in the back as well, so we're going to have to come in and take a look at it. I don't remember the rear contact, Chad.
There was a car right behind Johnson. I'm not sure how much contact
pretty
there was
wadded up right there as they come off turn 4. I think we go back and look at that. We'll see. I think Keselowski was just in a bad spot. He may have even had to get out of the gas.
And you can see what caused the damage to Jimmy's front bumper there. It's those bumper bars on the rear of the 2 of Brad Keselowski.
Ty Dillon into Keselowski, who gets run into by Jimmy Johnson. Goal. 5 laps complete. We're under caution. Here's today's Ford Performance Track Facts. Team Penske, 3 victories at Auto Club Speedway. Last one, Brad Keselowski, 2 years ago. Roush Fenway had 5 straight spring race wins here from 2005 to 2009. Now, on this caution, everybody came to pit road. They had 3 green flag laps on their tires, plus all of the laps from qualifying. 2 drivers stayed out, Paul Menard and David Ragan. Let's go back to the start of the race. Watch the 4 and the 31 pushing the 2 up into the 11, kind of like dominoes.
Yeah, Denny just really didn't have a great start, and the 2 of Brad Keselowski was trying to give him a push to get him going. And unfortunately, that lifted the rear tires up and sent him sideways, and they all started stacking up from behind. Here's Kevin Harvick making pretty heavy damage to the back of Ryan Newman. You can see that rear bumper damage on the back of the 31. Probably a little nose damage from the 4.
See right there, the 2 just starts to get loose, and Jimmy was right on him, and he couldn't help but get in the back of the 2 car of Keselowski.
Also, Trevor Bayne had slight contact into the back of Jimmy Johnson in that skirmish. Both Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Johnson spent a long time on pit road during this stop, repairing crash damage. So Larry McReynolds, everybody in after 3 laps plus the qualifying laps on their tires.
Yeah, and what we have to remember, they have 11 sets of tires for the race, including what they started on, which is a fair amount of tires. But I think what they factored in wasn't just the 3 laps of racing, Mike, but those laps from qualifying the other day.
It's called heat cycles. Once the tires get hot and they cool, they really don't have quite the grip.
Ready for the restart. After 7 laps.
Let's try it again, Mike.
Front row did not stop. Paul Menard outside, David Ragan inside. Here we go with Kyle Larson, Matt Kenseth, Jamie McMurray, and Martin Truex right behind.
Well, those first 3 took off, but those behind him certainly didn't. Watch the new tires on Kyle Larson just go right by the outside of Paul Menard.
Goes right up to the middle. He's going somewhere, man.
Now,
Kyle Larson to the lead.
And Kenseth took 2 tires on that pit exchange, so you're going to see how 2 tires versus 4 tires are going to work right here with Mark Truex Jr. going to the bottom, the 1 of McMurray on the outside.
3rd place here behind Menard.
You just have to be so careful, Mike, coming off 4 that you don't try to get in front of someone when there's not quite enough room. It's so tempting, but you got to know you're clear.
Joey Logano started out back. He is up to 12th.
It's incredible how fast he's come to the front.
But you know what? That's what there's a sense of urgency. When they're all grouped up like this and you got a bunch of cars all running side by side, it's when you can get the most cars, make the most passes.
Truex, Kenseth, 2 Toyotas fighting for 2nd. Truex on the bottom.
I think 78 is going to have a pretty good day here. Been running really good on these 1.5 mile, 2-mile racetracks. Car's been strong. Vegas winner.
See a lot of sparks from these cars. A lot of times on these lower air pressures and a rougher racetrack like this, you'll see a lot of those sparks. Doesn't seem to affect the handling of these cars. So a lot of times the crew chiefs really like seeing those sparks because that means they've got the car down in the racetrack really good.
Chase Elliott in the 24 got a big run on Matt Kenseth, trying to bring Jamie McMurray with him on the outside. Here comes Ryan Blaney in the 21. This is off turn 2.
You can see that Matt Kenseth came across one of those seams. We're going to talk a lot about those black seams that separate the lanes in the pavement. And you can really get the car sideways as you cross over those. It looked like that's maybe what happened with Matt Kenseth, and Chase Elliott took advantage of it.
You talk about low is good, lower is better. And when they're dragging the ground, that means that's as low as you can go.
Well, and Kenseth is finding out what these two tires are going to be like early. Remember, there is less tire allotment this year that Goodyear's given these teams, so they do have to manage this when they have this early of a caution in the race.
Kevin Harvick working his way back up to the front after that stop, up to 26th. Let's get a little bit of crash damage update early. Matt Yocum.
Mike, the repair job was done to the nose of Kevin Harvick's Ford. They had pre-cut sections of X-Flex, that big bare bond type tape, to go on the nose to seal that up. Meanwhile, the two of Keselowski, they sealed up different parts of his race car with the same product, Jamie.
And Jimmy Johnson in the 48 started 37th, worked his way up to 23rd in 3 laps, but he got some damage. The right rear quarter panel, a little bit of damage. They knocked that out, both sides of the hood of the car, but they think it's good. They think they've got it all fixed, Vince.
Well, and Ryan Newman started 5th, but he got into the back end of Brad Keselowski at that start, and it punched a hole about the size of your fist just underneath the right front headlight decal. The team did a nice job of repairing it. Newman asked crew chief Luke Lambert, am I 90% or 99%? Lambert replied, 99% or better. Only time will tell.
Boy, we had quite a dust-up going on here for 6th place, and it's not over.
Man, they come off turn 2 over there, all wadded up, and they haven't settled it yet.
Casey Kane, Matt Kenseth, Eric Jones, Joey Logano, all in one big knot. 4 cars under a blanket here.
Mike,
and now they've been caught by the next group of cars.
But it's like I said, it's so tempting to get down under somebody and want to pull up in front of them off the corner, and there's sometimes there's just not enough room.
Well, if you're Matt Kenseth, you're just waiting for these tires to sort of level out. Usually the newer tires will take advantage of you for a few laps, but then those 2 tires will level out as the groove moves up to the top. We just haven't seen it happen yet, but boy, it better happen sooner. Matt Kenseth's going to lose a lot more positions.
But you know, if you're going to do that, Jeff, now's the time to do it. I mean, now you know, okay, I see what the results are. Might not want to do that later on.
And the 2 drivers who did not get tires, Paul Menard is back at 19th, and David Reagan has fallen to 35th.
Like a rock.
Matt Kenseth on 2 tires has dropped to 14th. In only 8 green flag laps.
Well, we know 8 tires are better than 4, and now we know 4 tires are better than 2.
7th place.
I really knew that Logano was going to come to the front, but I had no idea he was going to be able to come up through there this fast. This is a wide racetrack, a lot of different lines, a lot of places to pass, but still, there's a lot of great competition out there. That tells you the strength of Joey, his driving, as well as that race car.
And look where he made that pass at. He went all the way down on the apron, not on the yellow line, below the yellow line to make that pass. That car is hooked up.
He told us last night he had little concern about starting in the back because there was plenty of room. This track is so wide you can go virtually anywhere. Said it'd be a little harder to do today than in yesterday's Xfinity Series race, but
well, he got plenty of practice with it yesterday.
Right.
I think he did it about 3 times. He went to the back because of some penalties and other things that caused him to go towards the back.
Yeah, it made it look pretty easy yesterday, and he had made it look pretty easy again today.
Last week, Kyle Busch was running away with 10 laps to go. A car cuts a tire and goes into the wall, and who was it but his nemesis, Joey Logano, that cost Kyle a runaway victory. He was unable to prevail. Ryan Newman held on in the shootout. And here for 12th place, Ricky Stenhouse, Daniel Suarez.
Man, this race has gotten off to an exciting start.
Yes, it has.
It's been crazy all weekend. It's continuing.
It was only lap 4 when Jimmie Johnson got into the back of Brad Keselowski, sent him for a spin, and we went to the first caution of the day. 19 laps complete. Remember to follow @Toyota Racing for more content and more conversation around NASCAR Goes West. Presented by Toyota. Use the hashtag NASCAR Goes West. Kyle Larson is your leader. 5 of the top 7, age 26 or younger.
Hey, look who's together again.
Best friends.
Yeah.
Well, 2 weeks ago they had a skirmish, and last week, as I mentioned, it was Joey's blown tire that cost Kyle Busch a clean win. We went to overtime. Ryan Newman prevailed. So Kyle Busch has T-shirts made. Everything is great, and for $22, that's Joey's number. You can have one and donate the money to Kyle's foundation, as Chris told you in the pre-race. Asked Joey at dinner last night, how much of that $20 do you want for your foundation? He said, 18.
I kind of like, but I like what I'm seeing. You can tell that NASCAR said y'all two need to stay as far away from each other as you can.
Now,
one's up against the wall, the other's down on the apron.
Joey said he's going to buy 100 of these shirts and sell them for 18 bucks a piece for his foundation. I think that's a great gesture.
I don't think this is the first time there's been a Logano-inspired T-shirt.
Third one. Here's Matt.
Mike, the former Zamboni drivers, climbed up to 8th, and Todd Gordon had such confidence both in Joey and their race car. Had tremendous speed Friday and Saturday, especially where the others aren't running. Joey was just so stout on the bottom. That's where they felt like they would make up so much gains on the competition, especially as laps were put on the tires.
Thanks, Matt. We're looking at a lot of debris, and it looks like what was on the grill of Chase Elliott's car is now gone, but they were concerned about it.
Flight 6, check your grill, check your temp, please. It's been a little warm. I wondered. I'll get it right here in just a second.
270 degrees. And here's how you get rid of debris on the grill.
There you see the piece fly off of the grill there, coming off of turn 2, and that's very common here at this speedway. We've seen it's a big track, a lot of wind blowing around, and you'll pick up a lot of debris on the nose. That was very heads up though of that team to pick it up, ask him to check his gauges and his temperatures, and then another great heads up move by him coming up on another car and getting that debris off.
Yeah, we get that debris because Mike, there's this grandstand down the front. The turns and all around the racetrack are wide open.
Kevin Harvick, the nose of his car looks like it's been in a prize fight, and he forgot to bring his gloves. Larry?
Yeah, a lot of people may look at the nose of that car and say, how in the world are they getting any air through the grill to the radiator? It's a little deceiving, because if you look at the top of our Ford Cutaway car, this right here is pretty much just, it's just something that the manufacturers have right there. It's not really a grill opening. The grill opening is way down here, so all the work that Rodney Childress and that Ford team did was up here, so it's really not affecting the airflow through to the radiator.
Well, we're in Southern California where cosmetic surgery is prevalent, so. Oh, no.
Oh. Trouble.
That's Harvick.
Some big trouble.
Flat right rear tire.
Flat right rear.
Yeah. Here we are, focusing on the nose. He has the right rear go down.
And you got to be really careful. That right rear comes apart. It'll tear the whole quarter panel off of that right side.
Tell you what, though, that was a great job of hanging on to that thing, because that right rear goes, they usually spin.
Was Eric Stonestreet up on the pit box. Let's go to Jamie.
And the 48 of Jimmie Johnson, more problems. The 6 or the 19, he wasn't sure which one got into the right side of him. He smells some smoke, so they're keeping an eye on it. Earl Barbin, his spotter up top, watching to see if he can see any smoke. If they do, and they need to pit.
Harvick, runner-up last 2 years here. Right rear tire flat, but for the inner safety liner, he was 23rd. He's on pit road.
Well, Mike, that smoke, sometimes a driver, like we saw Harvick's tire smoking, a driver will smell that and immediately think it's something on his car. So it could be something like that going on with the 48 as well.
I think Harvick was pretty fortunate to get to pit road without that tire coming apart and tearing a lot of debris, or that debris causing a lot of damage.
Kevin Harvick will lose at least a lap on that stop for a cut tire. Kyle Larson Chevrolet continues to lead. 29 laps complete, one brief caution early on, and Kyle Larson has dominated this race. Here's the AARP keys to the drive.
Well, what lane are you going to choose? There's about 5 different lanes to choose from here at Auto Club Speedway. You might choose the bottom on fresher tires, move up top as we get on the older tires, and on those restarts, there's several lanes to choose as well. Watch out for those seams that separate each of those lanes. It can get really slick as you cross over them, and that can get you in a lot of trouble here and pay the price. And then it's up near the wall. There's a lot of grip, as we've seen Kyle Larson right up against it, but boy, don't jump over it, cause a lot of trouble, and get that right side damaged. It could cost you this win.
2 laps ago, here's the race for 4th place.
Look at this. I mean, go where they're not. You just find an opening and you go there. You see the 21, the 77, they go by, and there's Jamie McMurray and the 1 up there. And everybody makes it. It's a nice, clean, you know, everybody's got a lane to run in, and you don't run over each other.
When I loved all the different choices that we saw there. Some choose to straddle that seam. Some choose to go above it. Some go below it. I mean, that's one of the unique things about this speedway that make it so much fun to drive.
Hey guys, these guys, they pitted on lap 5. So if you look at the fuel window, they could go to about lap 45. But pulling the garage area this morning, I think what they're going to do this first stage, I think they'll split it in half. So I think any minute now, we may see an epidemic of guys coming to pit road to get those 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Kevin Harvick got those 4 tires, and everybody was in his way when he went back out on the racetrack.
No kidding, Larry. He has driven off and left a 42 in the dust.
Now, yeah, Paul Menard stopped because he did not stop under the caution.
Well, we talk about fall off when you have an abrasive racetrack like this. He started at Larson started at 38.76. He's dropped all the way down to 42 seconds. So new tires are going to be big.
Here he comes, Jeff. He's coming into pits now.
Martin Truex coming with him, making up a lot of ground there to the yellow line where the speed limit starts. Jamie?
And Cole Perna for the 78 told me this is the best car they have ever had here at California Speedway, saying the car is just a little loose and a little tight sometimes. No changes, just 4 tires, Matt.
And Kyle Larson certainly has been strong of late. He's finished second 4 times in the last 5 races. He told his team the car fired off really strong, but then he was really starting to lose the entry into the middle of the corner. That's where they felt like they were going to lose a lot of their time. Chassis adjustment on this 42 as others are hitting pit road. Jamie.
The 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. really making some good progress after starting in the back with a cut tire this morning. Car has been good. 4 tires here, taking quite a bit of time though, working on that left front area. Some damage. Wipe the grill. Long stop for the 88.
Here comes the 24, Chase Elliott. The good news for Elliott, they found no ill effects from that right rear damage in yesterday's happy hour crash. So that's good news for Elliott. In fact, he says the car is really good. A little snug center and a tick free off. So they're going to make a chassis adjustment in 4 tires. Matt?
And the guy who had a great shot of winning Saturday night race, Kyle Busch, he hits his pit box. 3 wins here. And Cup, the car just way too tight center to the exit on the first run. They made a wedge adjustment. He says he really needs to be better on longer runs on that 18, Jamie.
And Jimmy Johnson in. He's had a couple of run-ins, making sure the car is okay. 4 tires here. Fill him up, wipe the grill. They're checking, pulling those fenders on the right side. He had a little bit of damage. He's down.
Chase Elliott and Joey Logano have led during this sequence. Logano coming to pit road now.
Mike, remember the added timing lines on pit lane here. I think there's twice as many as there was last year. So I was holding my breath that we didn't get any speeding penalties on these first times in under green.
Matt?
Thomas Hatcher and Zach Price up on the wall waiting for Joey Logano to hit their pit box in that AAA red and blue Ford. Not much communication as far as that. They want to make a chassis adjustment to keep up with the racetrack. Seemed like the track a lot less grippy today than it was Saturday in practice.
I think, Mike, the sun's come out, and that changes this track dramatically. Those seams, they become bigger players.
How, Jeff? What does it matter that we've now got a little sunshine to go with all these clouds?
Well, it's only going to make the track slicker. But what really is tough about these conditions is when the clouds come in and out, and then there's shade, and then there's sun. How do you tell the crew what you need to do to the car? How does the crew chief adjust the car for those conditions? But yeah, it's going to only get slicker.
Now remember, Martin Truex Jr. made up a lot of time coming into the pits as Kyle Larson was slowing down for his stop, and because of that, Truex is now the leader. Look at the comparison there, a long pit road time. So pretty straight up. The pit crew did a little better job, but that pit cycle may tell a different story.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. This is the 2 laps, including the green flag pit stop. And if you see right there, that 78, not only did it get the job done on pit road, but Martin Truex Jr. got the job done getting on and off pit road. And remember all the issues they had last week at Phoenix. Really paid off on that stop.
And Larry, I noticed the Truex car, the 78, was closing on the 42 right before they made that pit stop. He was a little bit quicker on the scoring monitor here, so he was definitely coming.
And I'm wondering if that's what contributed to the 42 of Kyle Larson to come to pit road. It seemed like he was starting to lose time to Martin Truex Jr. behind him, but also Truex really gained on him coming to pit road.
One note to keep an eye on for later. Paul Menard and David Ragan are now on the same cycle as everyone else. They have an extra set of tires. 40 laps complete in California, where Monster's throwing it back to its roots with freestyle motocross in the fan zone. That was Monster's first sponsored sport, and they sponsor the biggest names in the business. Big show for the fans here during the pre-race.
Exactly what was that thing going around and around?
Oh, that's the Wheel of Death. You want to ride?
Thank you.
We can arrange it.
I would love to.
You want to just stand in the middle? We can arrange that too.
I like to watch. I'm a real good spectator.
You want to ride from here to Martinsville in it? We can arrange that. 6th place, Eric Jones. Ryan Blaney.
This is
having a good battle.
No, this is I got you, and I got you back.
And then here comes Clint Bowyer saying, "Oh wait, not so quick."
You know, Bowyer is having a heck of a run, guys. He's running 8th right now. He just went by Eric Jones there. That 14 car today looks pretty racy.
You know, it takes a little time for a new team to gel with the driver. But I have seen some big gains over the last couple of weeks with Clint Bowyer and this team. I think you're going to start to see them run up front a lot more and possibly get themselves to victory lane this year.
Jeff, it looks like early in a run you can make a lot of time down on the bottom, as we saw Bowyer doing. But how long can you do that before you're abusing your tires?
Yeah, that's the thing. You're going to abuse the tires. To run down there, you got to put a lot of wheel into it. You get up on the apron, you use those left side tires, maybe even damage those tires a little bit. So if you can run up top, the sooner you get to the top, the longer your tires are going to last.
You just got to love Bowyer. His attitude with this new team is spot on, guys. And the fact that he's running a lane that no one else is, that's Clint Bowyer. He likes to do things his own way, and he's getting it done on the bottom of the track. A lot of guys scrubbing that outside wall. He's taking care of that 14 car, cutting low in the corners, and cutting through the field.
Yeah, Mike, I really think with Bowyer, it's just a confidence thing. You know, he had such a bad year last year. I think this year he's just getting his confidence back, getting back in the groove. I think he's going to be pretty tough as the year goes on.
Let's catch up with Dale Earnhardt Jr., who noticed a cut tire this morning when they went to put the qualifying tires on the car for today's race. So he started in back. Jamie, he's up to 17.
He's worked his way forward nicely, and they made a wedge adjustment on the last stop to just help the balance of that car. But that's not his only concern. Listen.
On your brake. The pedal's a little lost, but it came back. But the pedal's not as hard as I think it should be. But didn't have a pedal for about 2 laps.
Yeah, odd. You know, we've heard so many odd things this year with brakes already and soft pedals and things like that. But I got to say, that 88 Exalta Chevrolet has struggled this weekend. They've made good improvements, even though he's still having a few issues there. That car is much better, and he seems much happier than he did in practice.
Well, a soft brake pedal might not be a huge concern, but you're going off into turn 1 how fast?
215.
That's a concern.
That bothers me. I don't care how many brakes I got. Yes. I need a parachute. But you know, we talked about brakes. Think back to Keselowski at Daytona. Remember, he exploded a rear brake rotor at Daytona. Brake things have been going around this year.
You see Ryan Newman, last week's winner, Martin Truex, closing in on the 31 Chevrolet, and Kyle Larson closing in on the leader as they try to put Newman and Allmendinger a lap down.
Yeah, I just wonder how much of that damage from the incident at the start is hurting that 31 car of Ryan Newman. One thing I'm noticing between our leaders, Martin Truex Jr. took off after they came off pit road and was really fast. The 42 of Kyle Larson was struggling a little bit freer at the beginning of this run. As the run's gone by, he has started to close that gap. He's got a really good car through this portion of the run.
And Jeff and Mike, That 42 car, Kyle Larson, that's confidence personified right there. That kid has really got his confidence up right now.
Oh, what an incredible move by Larson. Goes right to the middle, doesn't back off, carries a ton of speed, and is actually going to gain on the 78 of Truex right there by splitting 2 cars.
He took a shortcut.
And he picked up 0.3 of a second, about 8 or 9 car lengths, to close right up on Martin Truex Jr., who took over the lead during the green flag pit stop cycle.
It's always funny, though, how you can, you know, he's chased Truex down. He's right there now. Can he get by him? Because that's really the tough part. Once you get up to a guy, you got to figure out how to pass him, get by him. If he does that dive bomb on the bottom again, he might make it.
Well, especially if somebody like Martin Truex Jr., who's running the top, you can get underneath them and get side by side, but the momentum of that outside lane typically wins out, but not right there. Wow, what a strong power move.
That's a slide job right there, because he slid that thing right up in front of Martin Truex. Woo!
Kyle Larson back to the lead. Here's Matt.
McMurray and his teammate Larson both told me they feel like their resurgence is about 100 different things, but one area they can point to, a test session at Pocono a year ago. They found something that really has worked at Pocono, but all the intermediate racetracks, and that has helped boost their program. Right now, he's maintaining in the middle of the corner, but he's certainly gaining a lot of ground, he feels like, on exit at both ends of the racetrack.
Well, these two finished 1-2 in Las Vegas. The order reversed from where it is right now. Truex the winner and Larson second. Chip Ganassi Racing first and fourth, with Kyle Larson and Jamie Mack coming up on 50 laps complete.
Would you be into doing a hot stone massage?
A hot what? At least the car is quiet.
Snowboarding is better than skiing.
I completely disagree. The One for Everyone sales event is going on now, and we have one for you.
During Toyota's One for Everyone sales event, you can get 0% APR financing on the adventurous RAV4 and 10 other select models. Offer ends April 3rd. For great deals on other Toyotas, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Lou Dobbs, taking a hard line on money and politics.
Some troubling statistics. Investors looking to the Fed meeting. These are interesting times in Washington, D.C.
All the way to the #1 show in business television. America knows he goes inside the markets and the Beltway like no one else can.
Don't you know that's the most important thing? You don't want to miss a minute of it.
Lou Dobbs tonight, weeknights at 7, only on the country's fastest growing cable network, Fox Business Network.
People know me as Dale Earnhardt Jr. race car driver, but I have many sides. At my office, they call me Boss Man. I scout the talent, close the deals, do it all with a firm handshake. Gentlemen, to others, I'm Water Cooler Dale. Have y'all seen the pictures of Janet's baby? Oh, yeah. So cute. It's so cute. Oh, man. Yes, the dimples. Unreal. For protecting your small business and more, Nationwide is on your side.
The end of the week. Work is over, school is out, and the wild ones come out to play.
The green flag is out.
Pups get a chance to dance with the big dogs.
Oh, they're going at it.
Roars from engines compete with roars of fans. And the stadium lights become a spotlight for one.
Here he is, Johnny Sauter.
It's truck season, America.
Will the all-new KFC Georgia Gold chicken with its great tasting honey mustard barbecue sauce make you rich and successful? I don't know. It's finger-licking gold.
Got kids 12 and under? Come to any NASCAR Xfinity Series or NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race, and any kid under 12 gets in free. Get your tickets today.
Kyle Larson puts Jimmy Johnson a lap down in Southern California as he crosses the stripe. 7 laps to go to the end of stage 1. Remember, that's treated like a normal caution flag. First car 1 lap down would get the free pass. Right now, that's Johnson. Next car for Larson to put a lap down would be Brad Kay.
Yeah, and he's right there in front of you. You can see him in the picture there on the left of the screen, and I think he may get to him before we get to the break.
Larson's just on fire right now. It's so fast.
Stewart-Haas Racing, not a great day for them so far. Clint Bowyer is their only car right now that's on the lead lap. Vince.
Well, and Kurt Busch, you see, running 26th, their Daytona 500 winner, but not a whole lot has gone right for this team since then. They've had all kind of alternator issues the last couple of weeks. Not the problem today. The problem today is just the Dale Handling race car. It has been so loose, and Kurt said it's nothing like it's been in practice. Right now, I can hardly drive it. Jamie?
And Jamie McMurray doing a really nice job today. He told me before he got in his car, he thinks him and the 42 of Kyle Larson are the best cars on the long run. He said, keep your eye on me. What Jamie's been saying about the car, though, he's using all the track bar he can, so he's been forced to use more brake in the corner, trying to get that car balanced where he wants it.
Well, the last lap, McMurray was the fastest on the race, one of the fastest on the racetrack.
You know who's holding their breath that would like to not see this 42 car pass that 2 car?
The 48.
The 48.
Matt?
5 to go, hoping to hold out and not go a lap down like you mentioned. Brad Keselowski, his car was tight through the center and extremely loose on exit, but once he got by Jimmy Johnson in the 48, then it just swung to the free side. The tightness went away. On a scale of 1 to 10, Mike, they're about an 8 on damage repair on the deuce.
Yikes. 5 laps to the end of stage 1, and you see Martin Truex there in second place. He is the only driver who has won a race this year and is still on the lead lap.
That is unbelievable.
I think Martin Truex is just looming back. I don't think he's really. No. I don't think he's pushing it that hard.
Yeah,
he was fastest that last lap.
I'm not so sure he didn't let Larson get by him so he could stalk him and just see what he's doing. See where his car is a little bit better than Martin Truex Jr.'s. Learn something so they can make some adjustments on that next pit stop. Jamie?
Well, the 78 took 4 tires on the last stop, and now he just told his team it took off with more grip. He was a little bit better, but not so much now. And I calculated that to be about 15 laps before the fall off was too much.
And remember, we're coming to the end of a stage. Stage points are important. Winning this stage would be important, and he's closing in fast.
Of course, when you have a win in the bank, you have some options on that last lap. Truex and Elliott were the fastest cars on the racetrack.
That's the first time I've seen a car, one of these leaders, bobble. If you saw Martin Truex Jr. went into turn 1, back in, stepped out on him.
I think that's how hard he's trying right now. I think he really wants to win this stage, and he's really pushing it. And this is what I liked about the stage racing. It has really created some excitement in the middle, early and middle part of the race.
Oh, there's a lot of incentive to win these stages. More than just the points. It's the points for later for the playoffs as well.
And Mike, you're right. Truex does have a win, but 42 doesn't. So if you can keep him from winning a stage, getting those extra points, it might pay off somewhere.
That's true. Denny Hamlin in 10th. The top 10 receive stage points in 2 laps from now. Joey Logano hoping to be one of them. He's currently 8th. Kyle Larson trying to win his first stage of the year under this new format. 60 laps, 80 laps to finish it off.
And Mike, these cars we're looking at right now,
we got a car
what is that?
Almost come around. Danica Patrick so close to spinning out.
And we stay green.
I don't see any tires or anything. That just got in trouble back there.
She was around another car, and I don't know if it just pulled the back end around, if they were battling or if there was contact there, but great save by Danica.
I love this track because of that runoff area over there. That is just a great thing.
She is 1 lap down, and there's 1 lap to go in this first stage. Kyle Larson up half a second on Martin Truex Jr. Still working a lot of traffic.
He's looking.
Truex with a big windup at turn number 4. Lap cars high. Larson low, and Kyle Larson, who attended his first race at 1 week of age, crosses the line to get his first stage win under this new multi-stage format. Truex, Elliott, McMurray, Kyle Busch, the top 5. Here's a look at what happened to Danica Patrick. Contact with Michael McDowell, perhaps?
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Really tight racing action right there.
I think those two have had a history sometime or another.
So Kyle Larson is your first stage winner as the caution flag flies in Southern California. Welcome back to California, part of NASCAR Goes West, presented by Toyota. We've completed stage one. Kyle Larson is your stage winner from Martin Truex, Chase Elliott, Jamie McMurray, and Kyle Busch. Also receiving points were Bowyer, Logano, Jones, Blaney, and Hamlin. Now Kevin Harvick is on pit road. Pit road has not yet officially opened, but they have some damage still to repair from that dust up back at lap 4. Larry, let's take a look at today's Liberty Mutual Insurance Worry Less strategy.
Well, it's hard not to worry here at Auto Club Speedway, but I'm telling my driver, you're not that bad. I know your car's not driving good, but it's much better than others. Easy over the bumps. When we put fresh tires on, you have to be easy with those air pressures down, and then the eyes got it, meaning your spotter, if you're not leading, he's going to tell you where the leader is running on this racetrack.
Thanks, Larry. So pit road will open this time. As we mentioned earlier, both Paul Menard and David Reagan, who did not come in during the first caution, they have one extra set of new tires compared to everybody else. They're now everybody back on the same cycle, but neither of those two cars are on the lead lap right now. We have 18 lead lap cars, and we'll add Brad Keselowski, who will get the free pass on this caution flag. So pit road's open. Here's Jamie.
Yeah, Martin Truex Jr. in the 78 has led 12 laps today. He wants to keep that drive off good. He likes that in his car, but they want to work on a better center turn. So they're going to adjust for that. They'll take 4 tires. They've had a great pit stop today. They worked through some issues after last week. They go over the wall for the 78. He wants a tear off. You see it right there. Pull it off for a clear vision. A lot of debris and dirt out there. Great job by the 78. Meanwhile, everybody else into their pit boxes. Jamie McMurray in the 1, pretty happy with his car. Wants the entry to be a little bit better. Wedge adjustment. Vince?
Last season's Rookie of the Year, Chase Elliott, finished 3rd in stage 1. He's really pleased with the car. Says it's a little free on exit, but that's it, Matt.
And leader Kyle Larson went way deep into his box. The crew members had to run and catch up. They've already made a chassis adjustment. His car was tight in the middle of 1 and 2, decent in 3 and 4. Service already complete for Kyle Busch, 13.4. He needed a little bit more help on drive off, but it wasn't bad.
So Kyle Larson will surrender the lead, losing 4 spots. Martin Truex off first by quite a margin. McMurray, then Bowyer, Kyle Busch, and Larson.
Let's see if we can dial up our stage 1 winner. Hey Kyle, this is Jeff up at FS1 booth. You got me?
Hey Jeff, we're on channel 2 again this week.
Hey Kyle, this is Jeff up in FS1 booth. You got a copy there?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, incredible effort, looking good out there. You know, really impressive. I got to ask you though, normally we see you up top, right up against the wall. You were really making some ground up and making some great passes on the bottom. Did you expect your car to work that good down the bottom?
No, I didn't. We started catching traffic there, and I had to go down there to pass a lapper, and it stuck really good, and I gained ground on the 78, so I just kept committing at it down there and was able to get by him and get that stage win. So good run for our Target Chevy. I made a big mistake there on pit road and came in a little hot and locked him up and got too close to the inside wall, so lost some spots here on pit road. Thanks to me, so we'll have to make it up here and try and go for another stage 1.
All right, well, good luck making it up. Got a lot of lanes to choose from. Have a great one.
Yeah, thanks.
Kyle Larson will restart 5th after winning stage 1. There was 1 pin penalty in that sequence. We'll tell you when we come back.
The Auto Club 400 is sponsored by Chevrolet, the most awarded car company 3 years in a row. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR.
65 laps complete. Martin Truex, Jamie McMurray will lead him back to green. 2 cars go to the rear. Austin Dillon too fast exiting pit road, and Ryan Blaney removing equipment from the pit box will also go to the back. Kyle Larson has 3 straight second-place finishes in these races. 4 is the record. How about his expectations today?
People always kind of talk about, how talented I was, or, I'm the next Jeff Gordon. Hopefully I can achieve as much as him and others have.
Well, it's a lofty goal, but he is off to a good start.
Yeah, my favorite Larson story, I interviewed him a couple of years ago, and he was playing a video game. He was a little guy, and he told his dad, he said, I want to start in the back. He said, what do you want to do that for? You're on the pole. He said, because I want to pass all of it.
That'll do it. Let's check with Vince down at the eBay Motors pit box.
Guys, we've already touched on it in this broadcast about the significance and importance of tires. I know they're black, but to the crew chiefs, they're like gold today. 2 less sets of tires for these teams per NASCAR's adjustment this season. Now, if everything goes smoothly, that's about a fresh change of tires every 20 laps. If that works out appropriately, that would be great for these teams. Keep one for a late caution at the end. But if you have a problem like some of the teams we've seen today, you don't have an excess amount of tires. Tires could be a problem for some of these teams that have had early troubles and have had to come to the pits.
And Vince, I saw the 2-car. He got the free pass. He didn't haul butt around the racetrack to catch up to the rear of the field. He went real slow around to catch up to the rear of the field so he wouldn't abuse those new tires.
That's how abrasive this racetrack is here at Auto Club Speedway.
All right, the 2018 Toyota Camry XSE leads the field around for the restart. It'll be 67 laps complete as we get the green for stage 2. Up between turns 3 and 4 on this very wide asphalt speedway east of Los Angeles. And now they approach the Geico restart zone, where the leader, Truex, can start the race anywhere in that zone. If they get to the end of it and he hasn't hit the pedal, the starter will wave the flag. Here we go, stage 2.
A little bit cleaner restart here than what the initial start was, I have to say.
I just love these restarts at this racetrack. Look at that, 4 or 5 wide, so much room to race on.
Watch that 42 car of Larson. I mean, he just went right between Boyer and Chase Elliott, just shot right through the gap and headed to the front.
Not only am I impressed with Kyle Larson, but I'm impressed with Chip Ganassi Racing. What an amazing job they've done improving their race cars this year.
High, wide, and handsome. Larson looking for 3rd.
He just drives around Kyle Busch on the outside.
How often do we see somebody just drive by the outside of Kyle Busch?
Not often.
Now he's about to drive to the inside of his teammate, Jamie McMurray.
I would say that young man is in a hurry. He's got that thing in hurry right now. That bottom line is working for him too, Jeff. He can dive bomb down underneath cars and stay down there and come up in front of them and make the pass. I haven't seen a lot of people do that.
It seems like he can make his car work about anywhere on this racetrack.
Well, that bottom's great. It's a shorter distance. It's a lot quicker if your car will stick down there and you can gas it up.
Now this is the stage in the run where we see Truex have a little bit more front end speed, but as we saw in that last run, we saw Larson start to close in on. Here's when we talk about lower air pressure on the tires. Look at the compression in the left side. You see the suspension moving up and down, but you also see that sidewall really compress and flex.
Yeah, Jeff, Goodyear recommends that teams do not go below, as a starting pressure, 19 PSI on the left side. It's talking to some crew chiefs. The Goodyear data shows start them lower and they'll be more effective. So there's teams that are down to 14 or 15 PSI. That's when you hurt the tire, is when it's down those first couple of laps.
Now, last time by, racing for 11th, Ricky Stenhouse and Casey Kane got together.
Whoa. It just looked like Casey Kane came up to do a little side drafting, but ended up making contact with Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Here's Casey Kane's radio after that.
The bumps really affect me Like when I hit a bump with the front, like it'll shoot me for the right or like it can shoot me bad. So it's hard to hit bumps under throttle and not go a certain direction, which is either tight or loose at the end of it.
Now that could be affected by the contact at the splitter or components underneath the car hitting the racetrack, or it could just be that maybe their suspension is a lot stiffer and losing some grip with the tires.
A lot of it's aero. I mean, I think a lot of the time we hear that it's unpredictable. It's a lot of that's aero.
Let's take a ride with Ty Dillon down the back straightaway in the number 13.
Incredibly rough, probably the roughest straightaway on the entire circuit. Really see his head bouncing around a lot in between that headrest. That headrest is a great safety feature, but over the bumps, it caused quite a headache.
Michael McDowell. Oh, the Surf Woody is slow down in the corner and smoke from the right side. Not sure if that's tailpipe or tire. Right front tire smoke.
Looks like right front tire, Mike.
Yep.
Todd Parrott, crew chief, for bringing that car in. It looks like it's just a right front tire down at this point.
He got a little damage. You can see the scuff mark on the right front fender and down the right side. So he has made contact. Now, he may have made contact first, and then that caused the tire to go flat.
I think he did down in turns 1 and 2 down here. I saw him up high in the corner. You'll see here.
Yeah,
got in the corner, and I think the tire cut down. I think.
Hard to say which came first.
Yeah, it is.
So we stay green, 73 laps in, with 47 to go in stage 2, and Martin Truex in command.
Truex and Larson, they trade lap times. They're pretty much the same, 40-14, 40-10, 40-12, right in there, both cars.
Let's check in on Truex's rookie teammate, Eric Jones. This is the first year that Furniture Row Racing has had 2 cars in the Cup Series. Jamie?
What a great job the rookie is doing. Eric Jones coming off his best career finish last week of 8th. And then he comes out here and practice. And Mike, yesterday morning, he was the fastest. So I went up and talked to his crew chief. He said, oh, Eric was very impressed. He was so happy. Even though it was practice, he won it. And he felt like they were making gains. The car has been solid all weekend. It's lacking a little bit of grip right now, but hanging there in the top 10.
I like this guy a lot, and I tell you why. I like his quiet confidence. I mean, you can tell he's a thinker, and he's really, really a great race car driver. I think you're going to hear great things about him in the future.
Think back, DW, when you were a rookie driver. If you won practice, that was a big deal. You just came to the highest level of motorsports that you can imagine, and you're out there with the best of them, and you're at the top of the board. That's a big deal.
Just want to win anything.
And we're riding with Kyle Busch, who is closing in on Jones. Matt?
Mike, Kyle Busch's car just not reacting the way he wants, especially though when he's in traffic. He's almost back to where he started the day, currently in 8th. He says the car is now back being way too tight in the center, and it's just swinging the back of the car. So looking ahead at what changes to make it the 18 on the next stop.
75 laps in, Martin Truex leading Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Clint Boyer. A lot of Hollywood stars out. Eric Stonestreet's a very frequent visitor to Kevin Harvick's pit box alongside Delana. 80 laps complete. Martin Truex Jr., your leader. Here's Jenson Button, the 2009 Formula One world champion for Braun GP, taking a sabbatical from F1 competition this season. Enjoying the race, and we hope you are. Chase Elliott third. And closing right up on Kyle Larson. They're both about 2.5 seconds behind leader Martin Truex.
Yeah, I don't know if Larson, if they made an adjustment to that car or if Truex made an adjustment to his, but he has not shown quite the speed on this run that we've seen so far in this race.
What I see different on this run, Jeff, is Truex is running the bottom. He's run a lot of laps down on that bottom lane, which is a shorter route around the racetrack if the car will stay down there and you can get back in the gas. He's doing it in 3 and 4 for sure.
Now in 4th place, Clint Boyer, whose last top 5 finish came at Bristol in August 2015. Matt?
He's climbed 13 spots at the start of the race, Mike. This is the kind of run that Clint Bowyer really needs, not only for his confidence, but also try to get some of the pressure that he puts on himself off his shoulders to perform, taking over this stout Ford at Stewart-Haas. No change as the first stop, no change as the second. They really feel like they're killing the competition down in turns 1 and 2.
Mike Bugaravage, the crew chief on that car. I think he and Clint are really starting to come together. I think you're going to see some good things out of that 14 before the year's over.
You could see that line that Bowyer's running. They talked about him being really fast in turns 1 and 2. I like how he's straddling one of those seams, and you can see the car's got a nice yaw to it, carrying good speed, really accelerating off the corner. I agree. That's probably the best car through turns 1 and 2. If he could get turns 3 and 4 figured out, there'll be one to win.
It seems like high in 1 and 2, low in 3 and 4. That's what I'm seeing.
Let's catch up on our top 3 runners right now, beginning with race leader Martin Truex. Here's Jamie.
And Jeff, you were wondering what they did to the 78 on the last stop. They only made an air pressure adjustment, no chassis adjustments. He seems to be pretty happy with his car, but he's really relying on his spotter, Clayton Hughes, telling him where the 42 of Larson is running, and he said, it's all about the seams. Just keep watching the seams.
Seems like now that the sun is out in full force that the cars are much more sensitive to change. They only made a small air pressure change in the 42 of Larson. Now his car just way too tight. Vince at both ends of the racetrack.
Chase Elliott in that 24 car running third. He and crew chief Alan Gustafson continue to work in harmony. All 4 races this season, they felt like they've had a car good enough to contend for the win. Very solid again today. They didn't make any changes on that last stop, giving indication of how happy Chase Elliott is.
Thanks, Vince. The weather here, very variable. Turn 4 and turn 1 is in sun. The backstretch turns 2 and 3 still in shade. Here's a look at Clint Bowyer's day and Jamie McMurray. Both the Ganassi Chevrolets continue to impress, both in the top 5.
Mike, the biggest difference between the 42 right now and the 78 and even the 24, 42 continues to run the high line in 3 and 4. The 78 and the 24 both running down on the apron, and they're making good time down there doing it.
Well, which do you want, comfort or speed?
I want to be out front, baby.
It's Truck Month. Get to your local Chevy dealer and choose the Silverado that's right for you. Chevrolet. Find new roads.
88 laps complete. Chevy's run 2nd and 3rd, but the order has reversed. Chase Elliott now the 2nd place car, 3.5 back of race leader Martin Truex. Kyle Larson now 4th. And about to fall into the clutches of Clint Bowyer's Ford. The 4th place car, Eric Jones, is 5th.
Mike, these guys pitted at lap 63 at the completion of stage 1. The fuel window would carry them somewhere to around lap 105 to 107, but I think they'll do the same thing in this stage they did the first stage, split it down the middle. So I'm going to say in the next 3 to 4 laps, we will see an outbreak of green flag pit stops again.
Casey Kane may be coming sooner than most. He may have just slapped the wall on this lap. Here's a look at it.
Mike, and it sounds like that car is very unpredictable. We heard him on his radio there a little bit ago saying the car moves around, jumps around, and it's like it jumped into the fence.
Well, there is a bump right there off of turn 4, and it looks like maybe that stepped it out.
That's the wall of my rear bumper. You get scratched where the corner goes to the bumper.
Jimmy Johnson races on past because while we were away, Johnson stopped for 4 new tires. And we're told the leader is coming. Martin Truex Jr. about to make his mid-stage green flag stop. Here he comes, Jamie.
Car has been really good. Just wants it to turn a little bit better in the center. It was an air pressure adjustment last time. 42 locking it up, coming onto pit road. 4 tires for this 78 and Martin Truex Jr. They continue to work.
Clint Bowyer on pit road as well. Here's Eric Jones in, Kyle Busch. Everybody's coming. Matt.
Kyle Busch coming down pit road. More drivers locking them up on their entry. Kyle Larson in the 42. His car tight through 1 and 2. It was decent through 3 and 4, but then that changed because he just lost everything that he was gaining down in turns 3 and 4. Definitely an air pressure. You can see a good crank on the wrench there, chassis adjustment. Meanwhile, the 14, they kept telling him, just keep it nice and smooth. We're having a fantastic day. Vince.
The 24, Chase Elliott, coming in. We told you he's very happy with his race car. The one thing they've talked about with Chase as he comes into the pit box is to help him a little bit with his entry into the box, because they've had a little bit of trouble getting that left front tire off. A tick free, otherwise solid for the 24. Jamie?
Jamie McMurray never won here in 21 tries. Perhaps today could be the day. The car has been so good. Just says it's pointing a little straight on the exit, a 1 and 2, a 4-tire stop. Matt?
And Joey Logano just not having a long run car today in the blue 22. Short run, he loses grip, especially on exit. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin, he's also in. This is the racetrack that Hamlin most wants to win. Issues in 2013 and 14. He finished 3rd a year ago. His car much on the tight side throughout the run.
Now Hamlin and Logano each led 1 lap during that pit stop sequence. Kurt Busch finishes up. He's a couple down. Whoa, 2nd place.
Now we saw this on the last pit sequence where the 24 of Chase Elliott stayed out 1 extra lap. You're going to lose a lot of time to those new fresh tires, and that's exactly what's happened to Chase Elliott. Now I'll tell you one thing that's unbelievable right now is the pit crew on Martin Truex Jr. They just had another stunning pit stop, and he's got a big lead now.
He's one of the few guys, Jeff, that I see that hits his mark every time. I saw Chase slide a little past the Jackman, had to get back to it. I've seen that on a number of pit stops, but Martin is hitting his on the money.
We've seen Larson really struggling getting to pit road. You see the rear tires locking up, a lot of smoke, and the 14 of Clint Bowyer was actually able to close on him quite a bit there, just like we saw with Truex the last time.
And Bowyer is the big winner on that pit stop cycle. He goes from 4th to 2nd with that stop.
This is great to see. Bowyer, you think about all that he went through last year and really the last couple years. I mean, this guy was, a few years back battling for a championship. And it's great to see a guy like Bowyer, such a popular guy in the garage area, such a good guy, so good for NASCAR, and a great race car driver. Good to see him up there running good.
One of the funniest things he said to me last year, I said, man, what's the problem? He said, my car hates me.
So Martin Truex out in front now by 5.7 seconds.
We got a big lead here, so you might as well just save what you can. Copy that. The last set of tires shook a little bit, taking off. Had to be a little disturbed, but this seems to be better.
Larry, let's have a look at how Bowyer jumped from 4th to 2nd on that round of stops.
Well, Mike, we know any time that you have green flag pit stops, it's about the pit crew and it's about how the driver gets on and off pit road. So let's take a look at the pit stop cycle here, which would be the 2 laps, including the pit stops for several of the drivers. And there you see, once again, Martin Truex Jr., that 78 car, getting it done on pit road, as well as Martin getting on and off pit road. I think you guys pointed it out. He is hitting his marks every single time.
And Larry, I like where he's pitting too. I like that pit in down there where he is. It seems to be working really well for him as well.
And that's, it's important to point that out. It's not just the pit crew that plays a role in fast pit stops. It's the driver getting to pit road. It's the driver getting off pit road, and it's the driver getting on and hitting those marks to allow that pit crew to do their job well.
Yeah, it's a sum of all the parts. A great in and out stop. That whole thing is just a sum of all the parts.
Here's a perfect example of that. You see the pit crew is almost identical, maybe a couple tenths there between Bowyer's pit crew and Kyle Larson's, but it was all about getting on and off of pit road.
And in the first green flag stop of each stage, Kyle Larson has had a little trouble getting to pit road speed coming in.
I think when you have trouble getting in, it makes you a little apprehensive about my next stage or next timing line as well.
We are halfway in the Auto Club 400, and here's our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear showing the change for 2nd place. Everything Goodyear learns making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours. Goodyear, official tire of NASCAR. Truex the leader now by 6 seconds. You saw the pass for 2nd place that moved Kyle Larson up a spot. Clint Bowyer 3rd, Chase Elliott 4th, Eric Jones 5th. All 3 makes represented in the top 5. 19 cars on the lead lap. Back to rookie Daniel Suarez. This race started off with some fireworks that gave a lot of damage to Brad Keselowski, as Denny Hamlin did not get going on the initial start. Ryan Newman getting damage there too, as well as Kevin Harvick. A few laps later, Ty Dillon gets up and into Keselowski, who gets a boot from Jimmy Johnson, goes around and brought out the first caution flag of the day. Matt?
And Mike, one of the big changes they made on that 2 car, under one of the earlier cautions, they made more repair work. There was tape flapping on the rear, and they sealed up one other area. Keselowski said the car much better, like everyone else, is trying to work their car for later in the race when we're going to have longer runs.
Yeah, he got that free pass, got back on the lead lap. He's running 11th right now, and the car doesn't look too bad. I mean, to consider the way this race started for him, he has made a great recovery.
Joey Logano 6th, Brad Keselowski 11th, the 2 Penske cars. Their affiliate Dave Blaney, along with Austin Dillon, both had penalties on pit stops at the end of stage 1, but both have stayed on the lead lap. Done a good job.
We heard Junior, you know, reporting early about a little bit of a brake issue. Didn't seem to be a big problem. He wasn't too concerned. Junior running along here in 12th place. Not too bad a shape right now. Still in the hunt.
Jamie?
Yeah, it's been an interesting day for Junior, but right now you can see there's a little trash on his grill, but the car seems to be a lot better than it was earlier. Now what happened this morning is team found the right front tire had a puncture. The air was still in it, but they wanted to err on the safe side. You see him wiggling there, trying to get that trash off before his temperatures go up. But they had a brand new sticker tire and 3 scuffs to start the race. But Junior doing a nice job. He's been in this sport a long time, guys. Today is his 600th start.
Up ahead, 3rd place tightening up here. Clint Bowyer caught by Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I don't think Bowyer's car is as fast as Truex's or Larson's. Obviously, he and Chase have got a little something going here, but nonetheless, he's still got a top 5 car, Bowyer. And the day ain't over with yet.
And Bowyer's fastest lap of this race came right after they made that change and put on that set of tires just about 10 laps ago.
Well, and that's what you got to be a little bit careful of. Sometimes you can leave pit road and run a little bit too hard on those fresh tires. The car's balance feels really good, got a lot of grip, but that can cost you in the long run. And I think this is exactly what has possibly happened to Clint Bowyer.
So we're 15 laps to the end of stage 2. Martin Truex and team are already talking fuel strategy.
Just keep saving. I'm giving you like 150 feet on both ends, flipping early. That's for you. All the mail.
Now, they're in such a good position right now. We heard crew chief Cole Pearn earlier tell Martin Truex Jr., hey, take it easy here. You got a nice big lead. As he did that, what happened? He stretched the lead out during that. So maybe he needs to take it easy more often. But also, this could be, they don't need to save fuel for this part of the race or for this stage, but maybe that's a test for later when maybe they do need to have better fuel mileage.
I just think this team has been in this position enough times over the last year and a half or two that they've really learned a lot about what not to do. That's what they're trying to do today. Don't make any mistakes. Got a great car.
We'll keep it right here as Martin Truex Jr. enjoys a 7-second lead.
Getting food to hungry older Americans cannot stop, and it won't. Hey, these are our parents and our grandparents out there. Let's start talking about how we can really get to the root of the problem.
Hey, we hear you. Fighting hunger doesn't stop here. I'm working with AARP Foundation's Drive to End Hunger team to change the national conversation around hunger, bring experts together, and make programs better than ever. If you don't think we're in this together when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Learn more at aarp.org/possibilities.
Every lap timed to 100th of a second. Every gallon measured down to the last drop. Every tire holding till its last tread. Each moment building with pressure. But no matter the precision put into a car or a race, the path to victory is through total chaos.
Unbelievable.
I was made in the shadows of greatness, shaped by the hands of legacy, forged in the fires of racing. I've been challenged, tested, and proven. Whether it's on that track or off, the truth is, what you're made of is what you're made to do.
Would you be into doing a hot stone massage?
A hot what? At least the car is quiet.
Snowboarding is better than skiing.
I completely disagree. The One for Everyone sales event is going on now, and we have one for you.
During Toyota's One for Everyone sales event, you can get 0% APR financing on the adventurous RAV4 and 10 other select models. Offer ends April 3rd. For great deals on other Toyotas, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The end of the week. Work is over, school is out, and the wild ones come out to play.
The green flag is out.
Pups get a chance to dance with the big dogs.
Oh, they're going at it.
Roars from engines compete with roars of fans. And the stadium lights become a spotlight for one.
Here he is, Johnny Sauter.
It's truck season, America.
You're watching NASCAR on Fox live here from the Auto Club in Southern California. Time for a KFC Georgia Gold race break with Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers, and Martin Truex Jr. trying to become the first repeat winner of this season. Now, Kyle Larson won the first stage. The second stage we're closing in on within 9 laps to go. And important as Brad Keselowski, who's now moved up to 10th, overcomes some earlier problems. How about the race for stage 2?
I just love this 24 car of Chase Elliott. He just keeps getting better and better. They're making minor adjustments. His lap times now are nearly as good as Truex's. Truex has driven away to a 7.7 second lead. Amazing performance for the 78 car, but look for the 24 to close in late.
And although he started 35th, Joey Logano, his average running position is in the top 10 all day. Worst starting position to win, 24th, and he's hanging in there.
He's in 7th position. It's a great run for Joey Logano. We knew that car would have a lot of speed, and it was amazing how quickly he cut through the field to get to the top 10. And his teammate Brad Keselowski, after that early spin, he's rebounded. He's in the top 10 now.
Yeah, and part of that spin caused by Denny Hamlin. The Joe Gibbs Toyotas, Michael, this year off to a bit of a slow start. How are they faring as we close in on stage 2?
Well, Hamlin a year ago was 3rd here in this race. They had more speed a year ago than we're seeing this year. But Denny, he's climbing along in the 9th spot. Kyle's up in the top 10, but the teammates are outside of the top 10. So they've got some work to do. They need some adjustments, and they got to get faster.
And Martin Truex Jr., the most laps ever led at the Auto Club Speedway. He has led the most laps today, followed by Kyle Larson. You see the battle 7th and 8th with Logano and Kyle Busch. Anytime they get close, it's worth watching closely.
And look at our leader go. That's 18th place Ty Dillon. Then Martin Truex is lapping by, setting a torrid pace. These guys can't wait to the end of the stage so they can get to pit road, make some adjustments, and hopefully close in on the 78.
Kyle Larson has turned the fastest lap today. That's your KSC Georgia Gold race break. Let's head back upstairs to Daryl, Jeff, and Mike.
Thanks, Chris. 7 laps to go to the end of stage 2 right now. Ryan Blaney, who overcame a pit road penalty to stay on the lead lap through most of this stage, is the last car on the lead lap with now 6 laps to go to the end of the stage. Now, early on, they were telling Martin Truex, save us some fuel. Did they not get it full on that stop?
Well, they're making such incredible pit stops down there, 11 seconds. Boy, that's pushing it to get that thing topped up full of fuel. So I think that might be a bit of a concern they have. I don't think it's a problem. I think they're okay, but it's you don't want to take a chance here. You got the best car.
But also in that last 80 lap stage, in the final stage, it could come down to fuel mileage depending on when those cautions fall. So I think they want to know what their number is just in case they have to save a little bit later as well.
Well, Jeff, you got a 7-second lead. I mean, you can afford to back it down a little bit and not run so hard and save a lot of fuel.
You know, one thing I'm seeing right now is this the most sun we've seen out over the entire racetrack. And I think it's only worked in favor of Martin Truex Jr. and that 78 team. Their car seems to have gotten better with the sun and the track temperature going up. Some of those others may have to make some adjustments to get their car tuned up a little bit better to compete with them.
I mentioned Brad Keselowski a bit ago, got that free pass, got back on the lead lap, and boy, is he taking advantage of that, Mike. He's now worked his way into the top 10.
You know, we're 115 laps into the race, and that's the only free pass all day, because we've only had 2 cautions, one at lap 4 and the caution at the end of stage 1, lap 60.
You know, guys, I want to give a tip of the hat to interim crew chief Brian Wilson for leading this two-team. Remember, Paul Wolf, the crew chief, after failing post-race inspection last week, suspended for 3 races. So for Brian Wilson to lead this group, repair that race car, get back on the lead lap by virtue of the free pass and in the top 10, that shows you how much depth there is at Team Penske.
Absolutely, Larry. 3rd place, Clint Boyer under fire from Chase Elliott, about 9 seconds behind race leader Martin Truex. 4 to go in this stage.
And we saw before we went to break, Chase Elliott was stalking him on the bottom of the turns, just like the same line that Boyer was running. Now we've seen where he's really moved up high and really working that high lane. He's probably going to go a little bit lower here to try to get some position on him. If he can get position on him and underneath the inside, he might be able to get down on the apron through 3 and 4 and make the pass.
Did you see that 24? He stepped out a little bit, then the 14 did the same thing.
Now, until Elliott made that move, they were closing right up on Kyle Larson for 2nd, but getting side by side has allowed Larson to scoot away.
It just seems like this bottom lane right here, the groove that these guys run at 14, and you see the 42 up there now. Chase is running that high line through 3 and 4. It doesn't seem to be quite as good to me.
Well, he gets a big run off the top with all that momentum, though, of the 24 Chase Elliott as he closes in down the straightaway. It's just not a lot he can do with it once he gets down here to turn 1.
2 to go, stage 2.
Now look at Chase Elliott searching around a little bit now. The last time he went to the bottom side, Clint moved down a little bit. Now look at Chase Elliott working that top lane. He might be able to get a big enough run to go back to the top 3 and 4 and complete the pass down the front straightaway.
I think that Boyer is going to, what's he going to do here? He's going to go back to the bottom like he has been. That seems to be the really fastest way around that corner right now. See how 14 comes out in front of the 24. 24 got momentum off of the corner. We see that. Don't know if he can make the pass.
See if he can side draft, get to that left rear, pull away from him. Yeah, I think he's going to complete the pass. That's textbook right there.
It's only 1 point, but championships have been lost for less.
Right now, any and everything matters to Boyer. He don't get passed by anybody. I'm passing people, man. I'm going somewhere.
I just really like the way that Chase Elliott set up that pass. That was.
And your stage 2 winner, coming off turn number 4 to the front straightaway, is going to be Martin Truex Jr. Ryan Blaney holds on to the lead lap. Kyle Larson, Clint Boyer,
huge lead.
Chase Elliott, Eric Jones. What a lead. It was 8.5 seconds.
Yeah, that 78 car in that stage, Mike, he just had 2 tenths all the time. 2 tenths, 2 tenths.
Jamie McMurray 6th, Kyle Busch 7th, Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski get stage points. Martin Truex in front.
I would say I'm definitely not the most aggressive guy, but when I see opportunity to be aggressive, I certainly take it. I'm more methodical and think things through.
Martin Truex has now won 3 of the last 6 mid-race stages. He won both in Las Vegas as part of a clean sweep. And today he is your stage 2 winner after Kyle Larson won stage 1. Let's take a look at the Busch race summary at 122 laps. 17 cars are on the lead lap, back to Ryan Blaney. I think Ty Dillon will get the free pass this time. We've had 5 leaders, 9 lead changes, and 3 cautions, 2 of them stage ending, for a total of 11 laps. And there are your 2 stage winners. Well, Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson have had kind of a rough day so far. Let's go radioactive.
Go out there, try to get this thing done today. Oh, boys, let's execute. Have a good day. I hit him hard. I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't think I hit him very hard, but I did touch him. Dang it. Sorry. That's like it's really tight in the center and really loosed off. But I'm sure that's from the damage.
A lot of bumping and scraping going on in Southern California today.
Well, there's no question that start was one of the wildest starts I think we've had so far this year. A lot of cars running into each other, a lot of damage, and it's infected some of these guys' race. And there's one of them right there.
Pit crews at the ready. Field in turn 3. Pit road is open. All right, in the leader's pit, Jamie Little.
Well, Mike, you guys in your analysis has been spot on with the 78. The team just confirmed to me they did not get it full on the last stop, and that's why they asked him to back it down, save as much as you can. The good news is he made it, and on top of that, he won that stage. He told his guys, great job. They've been getting the job done today. Let's see if Martin has as clean of a stop and hits his marks like he's been doing all day. A 4-tire stop, no changes expected here. A tear-off pulled off there. His teammate, the 77 of Eric Jones, having a great day, saying he's very happy with his race car. No changes on that upper left-hand side.
Chase Elliott, upper right-hand part of your screen, has finished 3rd in both stages. Said he just needs more grip, more drive off, which makes it more difficult up top. Wants to feel those rear tires in the track more. Air pressure and 4 tires. Matt?
Kyle Larson and his pit crew, 4 of 6 are new with this team for 2017. Solid stops. He was just way too tight. You can see PJ Bridey, the carrier, make the adjustment. Meanwhile, Clint Boyer was saying that his car was loose because he used up his tires too aggressive, but he needed it to turn better in the center. That's what they focused on.
Thanks, Matt. You saw Dale Earnhardt Jr. come out at the tail end of that line. He overshot his pit stall and had to back up. Here's the race off pit road. Truex, Larson, Elliott.
Well, what do you say, the stage winner here, Martin Truex? Let's see what he's got to say. Hey, Martin Truex, it's a DW. You got me, buddy?
Hey, DW, how's it going, buddy?
I'm having about as much fun watching you as I think you are out there driving the car. You guys have nailed everything. You got the right pit box. You're making incredible pit stops. You're doing a masterful job. I mean, could it be any better?
Yeah, we can go to victory lane in about 100 and some laps, so it ain't over yet. Anything can happen, but obviously proud of everybody at Furnace Row Racing, everybody on this Bass Pro Shops Toyota, everybody at TRD. This engine's unbelievable today, and just having a good time. So just keep our heads down here. Got a long way to go.
All right, my friend, we'll keep digging. You're looking good. It's fun to watch.
I appreciate it. It's fun to do, too. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
I think that's the happiest Mark Truex Jr. I've ever heard.
I wasn't expecting that.
Mayhead in New Jersey. Mark Truex Jr. in the lead. Martin Truex Jr. out front in Southern California behind the Toyota pace car as we get ready for the 3rd and final stage of this 200-lap race. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Clint Boyer, Jamie McMurray. And look at what the drivers have to look at. Now that's a rear view camera, front lens. That one is clear right now, all because of tear-off technology. Here's Jamie Little at the eBay Motors pit box.
Well, Mike, that's right. This surface is 20 years old, and because of that, we see an excess of dirt and sand and debris, rubber from tires. It makes it hard for these guys to see. So you mentioned the tear-offs, a lot like we see in motocross riding, where they have a visor that they could just pull off. Well, these teams have a huge tear-off across the windshield. The team will rip one off for clear vision. This just came off the 78. Everything you can imagine on here, making it hard for him to see. Now, these teams will stack these about 9 deep, so about every pit stop, they're pulling this off. These are about as important as a bottle of water. Mike?
Yeah, all the sand isn't down at the seashore here in Southern California.
Yeah, every environment that we go to has a little bit different type of sand or grit that affects that windshield. This is definitely one. The high speeds here, all the dust that's on this track definitely pits up that windshield.
Now Chase Elliott in 3rd. They had a little bit of concern after their stop. Vince?
Yeah, the inside shoulder of that right front tire was cording a little bit on that set they just took off. That has not been an issue of any of the previous runs, but in fact the tires have looked really good on the 24 that they've pulled off previously, but definitely on this set you could see a little cording on that inside shoulder of that right front tire. Certainly something they're going to want to keep an eye on with this 24 running 3rd right now.
Saw a Goodyear technician there talking with the team, so everybody has fresh tires and a full tank of Sunoco race fuel. A.J. Allmendinger's team over the wall too soon, so they get penalized to the tail end of the longest line for the restart. And we listened in on Brad Keselowski's team about tires.
How'd that last set of tires look? was the best that the left rears looked all race. We started to have a little bit of an issue on the left front, but it was nothing terrible.
Nothing better than hearing a little bit of an issue, but nothing
terrible. Nothing terrible. I don't see any problems. Larry, we got the multi-zone tire here, right? The dual, the harder on the inside.
We do. The inner 2 inches is for durability.
All right, here they come to the Geico restart zone. Martin Truex Jr. chooses the outside. That puts Kyle Larson on the inside. Elliott and Boyer, row 2. McMurray and Kyle Busch in 3. Jones and Logano, row 4. Hamlin, Keselowski, the top 10. 18 lead lap cars, green flag.
Little wheel spin by the 42 of Larson.
I think the 24 did the same thing. It looked like he was wiggling a little bit when they dropped the green.
Nobody that's restarted on the front row on the inside has gotten a great launch today.
Boy, look who got a launch to the center, 1 and 2. Kyle Larson takes the lead.
He just launched that thing down on the bottom, slid it right up in front of Martin Truex, and off goes the 42.
Well, let's remember the last time we had a restart, Larson had trouble in the pits. He started 5th. Chase Elliott started 6th. They had to make up that ground. This time he starts side by side with Truex, but look, Truex fighting back on the inside.
Oh, here they come for 3 wide. Kyle Busch on the bottom. Here comes Joey Logano. Whoa, big slide.
Hang on, Joey.
Where are you going?
Trying to keep up with that 18, but it didn't work.
Jamie McMurray around the outside, Hamlin up the inside. It's rush hour in Fontana.
All these restarts are amazing. Everybody's got them all bunched up here, man, and they get all over each other.
I don't think Martin Truex Jr. was too happy with losing the lead right there. He knows how important track position is and being out in that clean air.
Well, one thing I noticed in 42 on the last time, we'll see if he does it this time. You know, he was running high in 3 and 4. He's dropped down into that Martin Truex lane now, and that's paying off.
How about Ryan Blaney, who overcame that penalty, stayed on the lead lap, and now he is up there and fighting in 13th. Make that 12th. Gets a little side draft off Ricky Stenhouse.
Stenhouse having another good day, Mike. He's running 12th and silently been back there in the top 12, 15.
Yep. Trevor Bayne, his teammate, just ahead of him. Good day for Roush Fenway.
Something I'm really going to want to watch on this run. The last time we didn't talk a lot about Eric Jones moved up into the 5th position at the end of that run. His car is about as good as Mark Truex Jr.'s was. Both of those cars looking really strong today.
It's good, you know, sharing notes, obviously. Both cars probably set up the same. Both cars running great.
Blaney right down on the bottom, still coming. Let's have a look at this restart. And again, the inside line has trouble getting going.
First 2 cars, Mike, 42 and a 24, both got a little squirrely on the start there.
You know, the leader's the only one that really knows when he's going to accelerate and how aggressive he's going to accelerate. You're anticipating it or trying to anticipate if you're in that second position. That's what makes it a lot easier to spin the tires as you accelerate, to not let that leader get a big jump on you.
Well, we saw that with the 11 on the start. He just didn't go, and then it caused that bottleneck, and a lot of cars got in trouble right off.
Earnhardt Stenhouse, this is for 13th.
Well, you saw Dale Earnhardt Jr. He thought about jumping up in front of Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Whoa.
Thought twice.
Thought about jumping in that door, too.
They got Logano right behind them. Packed house there.
It just seems like these cars, when they get side by side, Mike, there's enough turbulence and air that it's kind of caused them to dart into each other almost. Last week, Winter Newman back there in 21st place. He's a lap down.
Jamie McMurray goes after Kyle Busch for 7th.
You can hear Kyle Busch is playing with that throttle.
What's it called?
Wanting to get wide open to get to the outside of the one of McMurray, but wasn't able to do it. But he does have the momentum and the draft.
That's what you call pedaling it, Mike. When you hear him just working the throttle like that, it's kind of like pedaling a bicycle.
And that's just because the rear tires are sliding and slipping and you can't get wide open or the car will come all the way around, which we saw that happen to Kyle Busch in practice.
McMurray fighting back on the outside now.
And some drivers are not good at that, Mike. Some drivers are on it or off it. They're either wide open or off the throttle. It takes a real pro to be able to pedal one of these things up off the corner.
Make some notes on who is really pushing their cars at the start of this run, and we'll see how they're doing 30-some laps from now.
Good point.
Kyle Busch was all the way next to the grass that time. Last time they went through here, the 1 car was on the inside, the 18 was on the high side. This time they flip-flop.
67 laps to go. Time for a Fox NASCAR Southern California. Crank it on up.
movement on the bottom. Back clear. You're all good to the 1988 only. Stop. 5 on 120, get help on the 19. Get the push here. Still on top. All buggy still on top. Clear half. C-back all clear. Halfback 3. All clear. All clear. Clear by 2. Bottom of 3. Still 3. Still 3. Back to 2. Outside again, 19. 41 outside, corner. You're clear. 4 back. Bottom inside. You roll right by 19 here. Still outside. 19 to be clear.
.64 laps to go. Kyle Larson in front of Martin Truex by 1.4 seconds. Clint Boyer 2.6 back. Chase Elliott, Eric Jones. The top 5. Corey LaJoie in the 83 got into the wall slightly.
Got into it and can't get off of it. Once you get up there and get that debris on your tires, you just can't drive the car off the wall. It's got to kind of slow down enough to get to where you can turn it down.
Now he continues, and we stay green with 63 laps to go. LaJoie makes it down to pit road. Kyle Larson, your leader. .59 laps to go. Kyle Larson out in front of Martin Truex Jr. Having a look from our spotter cam high above Auto Club Speedway on a partly cloudy day. And on a big track like here, especially on restarts, the spotters are so critical. Let's look at how Kyle Busch's spotter Tony Hirschman helped him worry less with Liberty Mutual Insurance spotter coverage.
Outside 24, you and him are by 2. Still there, full quarter. Nose, clear right now. He's running 3/4, still clear. Comes back outside, he's going to be there. Top's going to be covered, Jones will be filling. One off, clear up, clear up, clear up. Inside 77. By 6 out back.
And Kyle Busch now battling with his teammate Denny Hamlin for 6th place.
Kind of tell when it's getting in the latter stage of the race, all of a sudden the Gibbs cars, there's the 18, the 11, and the 20, all in the top 10 now. They've been outside the top 10 for a good part of the day.
And they almost had a come together off turn 4 right there.
Discussing on who has the best car at this point. Right.
Well, I guess you could run this race on just one more stop, or for tires, you could run it on 2. Let's go to the leaders pit. Matt.
Mike, that is what they're debating here in the 42 pit of Kyle Larson, either splitting it in half, that final run to the finish, or break it up into thirds. They're leaning toward the half. Talking to Mike Bugaravich, he was saying they were looking at that strategy as well, splitting it in half. They were telling Clint Bowyer, take it easy on your tires. We may have to go a little longer than normal, Jamie.
And I just checked in with Cole Purr, the crew chief for Martin Truex Jr., and I said, all right, when do you guys pit next? He said, I can't tell you that, but he did say we're only going to pit one more time.
Yeah, I think where the problem might come, absolutely. You can make it on one more stop on fuel, but they went back racing roughly with 73 laps to go. So you're asking a lot more out of those tires. I think for Larson, Truex Jr., Bowyer, we just got the reports on them. Yeah, that's their strategy. But if I'm back there, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, McMurray, I'm going to get off strategy. I'm going to split this thing into thirds, and I'm going to take advantage of those fresh tires.
Well, you know, Larry, as soon as they come in, they start making up 2 seconds a lap on tires. Those leaders have no choice but to come in and change that strategy.
And Larry, don't you think, though, this is the decision that wins you or loses you the race?
Well,
what you do in this, on this next sequence?
Well, again, we said it last week. If you follow the leader, that's what you're going to do is follow the leader. Get off sequence to try to win this race.
If you break this into thirds, you're going to lose a lap making the pit stop. Is a 2-second gain per lap enough to overcome that?
It's going to be close on losing a lap. I mean, you can get on, if you're a leader, one of the front runners, you can get on and off pit road and come out in front of the leader if you have a good stop.
You might lose it for just a split second, but you're going to get it back right in the next corner. But it is slightly risky.
A lot of strategies could be in play here. 54 laps to go.
Stopped into a church.
50 laps to go, and Kyle Larson is who they're all chasing. Dreaming of that Surf Woody trophy that's awarded here at Auto Club Speedway. He has 2 seconds on Martin Truex, 4.5 on Clint Bowyer, 5 on Chase Elliott, and 7 on Kyle Busch.
You know who's California dreaming right now? The California kid, Kyle Larson out front. Man, he's just incredible and fast right now.
You know, he's dreaming, but those guys in the pits, it's a nightmare for them because they're trying to decide what to do.
A lot of California drivers in this field today.
Guys, we'll know in the next 2 or 3 laps if anybody's going to step out of the box and try to divide the end of this race into 3 stops.
Somebody's coming.
Is that Logano?
Yes, it is. Joey Logano throws down the gauntlet. And he's going to pit out of 15th place. Let's see if there's any other takers, because we're 9 laps to the midpoint of this stage. Matt?
Mike Logano looking to put a check mark next to the Auto Club Speedway with a W. He's #1 here. Clean tear off the windshield for better visibility. His car just starts to swing to the free side, and then he loses all drive off. You can just see all that brake dust, tremendous braking coming down pit road. He's away.
So they are committed to a 2-stop strategy now on the 22. His teammate Brad Keselowski is on pit road now. So is Austin Dillon, and there are a few more takers further back on the lead lap.
Yeah, all these cars that are coming right now are really hoping the caution never comes out, because they're quite a ways behind that leader before they hit pit road. Now they're down a lap. They've got to make that all up under green.
Matt?
Keselowski in, great recovery with the free pass. You can see the wrench in the back window. They're going to adjust the 2 car. He was saying it was just getting freer and more free as the run went on. The 3 of Austin Dillon is in. He's been quiet much today. Had a great run here last year. He's been on the tight side most of the afternoon.
Eric Almirola's in, Greg Galding, and here comes Ricky Stenhouse and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Mike,
Jr. locking them up.
It's a great call when you're 10th, when you're outside the top 10. Jamie.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88, they wanted him to pit 1 lap ago, but he missed pit road. Air pressure hurting the car. The 17 been good. Both cars hanging right outside the top 10, hoping to get in there. Work continues on the 88. A 4-tire stop will take some of that air pressure out already.
Here comes Chase Elliott, the 3rd place car.
Yeah, we've seen him stay out longer than the leaders in the past. This time they switch it up a little bit.
Ryan Newman finishes his stop. Chris Buescher in. Here's Vince.
The 24 of Chase Elliott still pretty pleased with his car, but he does want the rear end in the track a little bit more. That's been the one constant complaint for Chase. It's gotten a little worse as the race has went on. You saw the chassis adjustment there to try to give him a little bit more grip coming off those corners. That drive off could be the difference here down the stretch.
Bain, Harvick, Suarez are in. So is Casey Kane, Paul Menard.
To me, the 24 car of Chase Elliott, that's what's going to force the hand of these leaders on the 42, the 14, the 78, those guys that were up front. Kyle Busch.
Here's Clint Boyer on pit road. He pits out of 4th place. Denny Hamlin is in as well, along with Ryan Blaney. Matt?
Butler Ravage changing his strategy here, but he's going to see how it will play out whether we get cautious. Boyer slides to a stop, another tear off. Ira Joe Hussey and Chris McMullen, the changers. Solid work on the right side. Boyer says the car just much tighter this run.
Here come the leaders. Kyle Larson, Martin Truex, both headed for pit road. Jamie.
And Martin Truex Jr. said, my tires are shot. They said, all right, bring it in. So they're putting 4 fresh tires on, sticker tires, that is. The car got a little bit tighter that run. No changes once again. A couple more sets of sticker tires laying down here, Matt.
And like everyone else, they're changing their strategy here, waiting on the 42 to hit his box. A close call there by the 78. The guys over the wall, they've been solid all day. This group building chemistry week in, week out. Stephen Price and Mike Roberts, great work there. 18 waiting for Kyle Busch to make his stop. Trouble on pit road with a 48.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson spun coming in, but this is a legal stop. The car is in the pit box. So he spun avoiding the 78 of Martin Truex, who was coming out of his pit.
Truex is a lucky one in that situation there. He almost nailed 78. Watch this right here.
Wow.
Yeah, so Jimmy really cut the 78 Martin Truex a big break. Unfortunately, it cost him a lot of time on pit road doing it. They're already having a rough enough day as it is.
Johnson was 1 lap down. Now he's 2.
Yeah, that was just close, man.
As Kyle Busch is the leader. Got his arm out the window as he drops down toward. Is he dropping to the apron? No. He was waving to a car that let him by without incident. So it's Kyle Busch, then Ty Dillon, 22 seconds back. And then these two, Larson and Elliott, for 3rd.
And we saw Chase Elliott came in a lap earlier. That forced the hand. He's going to have to battle really hard to try to maintain this lead right here, because this could be the battle for the win.
Now, I think Truex is just right behind these two. He's looking also, so he's going to be up here in the picture very shortly. See him right here.
Here's Martin Truex radio.
Let's change your mind, Cole. What, bud? What he was doing, and we can make it from here. It's just a question whether the tires are going on.
I think these two are going to wreck each other. Oh, my gosh. Woo. These are 2 young guns going at it right here, brother. Watch this, Jeff. Watch this move.
Yeah, so the 42 of Larson got a big run off the top, drafted up behind Chase Elliott, used that side draft. Whew. They knew how important that position was. That could be the difference.
And the weather continues to change. Turn 2 is in sunshine. The rest of the track is now in shade. And Chase Elliott has made up almost 5 seconds on Kyle Larson because of pitting 2 laps sooner than Larson.
Guys, we've not talked about side draft since we left Daytona, but we're seeing it coming into play here at this 2-mile racetrack at Auto Club Speedway. You see the trail car approaching the lead car. He puts that right front, right on that left rear, and what that does, it dumps air on the rear spoiler and in that left rear wheel and hurts the drag of that car he was passing, and then he gets away as quick as he can. It's not that he speeds up, it's the car he's passing slows down.
Well, Larry, think about it. We're running over 200 miles an hour down these straightaways. So anything you can do to disrupt the air, that's going to be to your advantage. And then using that disruption to get a big lead or get by a guy is really smart.
But you can already see just having 2 extra laps while it gained a lot of track time for the 24 Chase Elliott. Unfortunately, now that's not paying off because those tires are starting to wear out.
There's your battle right there, my friend, the 78 and the 42. Those are the two best cars. They're going to settle it amongst themselves.
Kyle Busch's lap times have slowed to almost 2 seconds slower than the two cars we were watching that are likely to battle for this win. So now Kyle is going to come in. He and Ty Dillon are the only lead lap cars that have not stopped in this sequence, and they will stop just past the halfway point of stage 3. So they're on a one-stop strategy.
And that was
for
a
sure.
strategy move. They were really hoping the caution was going to come out, and these other teams might feel like, hey, we've got 5 laps on our tires. We're going to have to come in once the caution comes out. And the 18 would have had the lead at that point. But unfortunately, the caution never came. It's going to cost these guys that have stayed out a lot of time.
Speaking of leaders, look who's leading this race, guys.
Great to see Ty Dillon out front.
Matt.
Couple steps to catch up to the car. Adam Stevens and Mike Bugarevich going with the same game plan. The 18 is much better on long runs. It's a little tight at the beginning, firing off, but it really starts to come in the longer run. That's what they're playing. They've laid their cards down.
Well, that's the way the race has gone today, Matt. Other than the 2 stage-ending cautions, we've had only 1 yellow flag all day, and that was all the way back on lap 4. So Ty Dillon leads a lap and will likely make his pit stop soon, also on a one-stop strategy.
This time, 2 red, 4 times the fuel.
There's the call. Top of the screen, you see the 2 green and white checkered flags indicating our stage winners, Kyle Larson and Martin Truex. Still anybody's race with 37 to go.
That was Booty Barker that was calling Ty in there. So, yeah, good strategy. Got to lead a few laps here. Good for them. But I've got to tell you, I think this is going to be a race where we figure out, has Kyle Larson learned how to win a race? Has he learned how, when somebody's drafting him like Martin Truex is, to make the right move to get to victory circle? Now remember, Mike, this is a package that they ran last year. The only race, this aero package, the only race that Larson won last year was at Michigan with this very same aero package.
So Ty Dillon has come to pit road. He will surrender the lead to Martin Truex, who's going to be 2.5 in front of Chase Elliott. 36 to go in California on Fox. 32 laps to go. Let's take a look at how the Coca-Cola family of drivers are faring. Denny Hamlin on the lead lap in 7th with most of his teammates. Joey Logano there in the top 10, as is Austin Dillon on the lead lap with 32 to go. There is your leader, Kyle Larson. He has 1 second on Martin Truex and 4 seconds on Chase Elliott. Let's have a look at today's Credit One Bank ones to watch. Jeff.
Well, I've got my eye on the California kid, Kyle Larson. He's putting up a great battle with Martin Truex Jr. He lost the lead there for a second on that exchange, but got it right back. Impressive. He's going for 4 second places in a row. No. He's going for win number 2 today.
Jeff, Clint Boyer has not been to victory lane since Charlotte back in 2012, 153 races ago. Better yet, he's not had a top 5 in a year and a half. He may not end the winless streak, but I bet he finishes in the top 5.
I'm just a big fan of Cole Pern, the crew chief on the 78 car. Martin Truex has had a fast car all day. I know that Larson's out there a little bit, but watch that 78 will chase him down at the end.
Oh, sure. Take Kyle Larson. Take Martin Truex Jr. I'm going to take Chase Elliott. The 21-year-old from Georgia is looking for his first win. He's 1 adjustment away from getting up there and stealing the show in California.
The last 5 races here had a pass for the win with 2 or less laps to go. Kyle Busch won 2 of those 5. And hey, everything is great. .30 laps to go. Martin Truex less than a second behind Kyle Larson now.
Would you be into doing a hot stone massage?
A hot what? At least the car is quiet.
Snowboarding is better than skiing.
I completely disagree. The One for Everyone sales event is going on now, and we have one for you.
During Toyota's One for Everyone sales event, you can get 0% APR financing on the adventurous RAV4 and 10 other select models. Offer ends April 3rd. For great deals on other Toyotas, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Getting food to hungry older Americans cannot stop, and it won't. Hey, these are our parents and our grandparents out there. Let's start talking about how we can really get to the root of the problem.
Hey, we hear you. Fighting hunger doesn't stop here. I'm working with AARP Foundation's Drive to End Hunger team to change the national conversation around hunger, bring experts together, and make programs better than ever. If you don't think we're in this together when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Learn more at aarp.org/possibilities.
My new Georgia Gold chicken tenders at KFC make regular Gold jealous. My Georgia Gold is hand-prepared with tangy honey mustard barbecue sauce, and Gold is only Gold. Get it as a chicken little sandwich, extra crispy tenders, or extra crispy chicken for a limited time. KFC, it's finger-licking Gold.
This is as good as there is.
He got it. Here comes Harper. Got him on a play. Incredible. And they got him.
That kid is unbelievable.
Game over.
Baseball's back. April 8th on FS1.
Got kids 12 and under? Come to any NASCAR Xfinity Series or NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race, and any kid under 12 gets in free. Get your tickets today.
NASCAR on Fox Live from the Auto Club Speedway. Time for an eBay Motors race break. Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers. A quick recap. We stay with live action and Kyle Larson, your leader. And earlier, the start of the race going back, Hamlin and Keselowski getting mixed up. 3 laps later, Brad nursing the car and problems with Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, he bounced off Ty Dillon, Johnson right in the back of him, and Kevin Harvick's day has been bad from the start. A flat tire there. He got involved in that crash on the first lap.
Kyle Larson winning stage 1, his first stage win of the season, although he came in as the points leader overall. Martin Truex Jr. wins stage 2. He's led the most, or I should say the second most laps. Larson has led the most laps in this race and turned the fastest lap time. Joey Logano getting loose after reaching his way back up to the top. He currently is running 10th. So can Kyle Larson, 4 second place finishes in the last 5 races, can he close this out? It's a battle between 2 fast cars, the Chevy and the Toyota.
And you know, Chris, the last time by, their times were just 1/100th of a second apart. Kyle Larson cannot put a wheel out of place, or Martin Truex, you see coming there in the orange car, he will pounce. Truex's car is equally as good. This is going to be man against man to see who gets the win.
And you have in the group Clint Boyer with that streak Larry talked about. You have Chase Elliott, who you talked about. So you've got a blend here of 20-something drivers and 30-something drivers. How much does experience matter with 25 laps to go?
I think that's all out the window. These guys are obviously highly talented to be up running the front of the Monster Energy race. So I think it's just man and machine against each other.
Worth pointing out, the last 3 races here at the Auto Club Speedway have gone to overtime. Stay tuned. That's your eBay Motors race break.
We're just moments away from adding a new chapter to college basketball's most storied rivalry.
Smithfield marinated fresh pork. Perfect any night for bringing the family together. Grilled, roasted, sautéed, or slow cooked. The prep work is done, so your meal is ready in about 30 minutes. So you'll never miss a beat. Enjoy real flavor, real fast with Smithfield marinated fresh pork. Flavor hails from Smithfield.
I'm here to demonstrate the incredible stopping power of Duralast GT brake pads. And that is Joey Logano, coming at me at more than 200 miles per hour. But I'm not nervous. They're just like brake pads we sell at AutoZone. They got carbon fiber technology and a V-slot design which reduces wear and increases stopping power.
Introducing the new line of Duralast GT brakes.
Woo! Ha! Nailed it!
Proven tough from the tracks to the streets. Sold only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
I'll let you in on a little secret.
In Martinsville, we call it Morse code.
1 tap, just letting you know I'm there.
2 taps, it's time to move.
3 taps?
I'm moving you.
Monster Energy Series from Martinsville. Coverage begins next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern on FS1.
The green flag is out.
It's truck season, America.
Kyle Larson leads Martin Truex by 1 second. Chase Elliott and Joey Logano have made a pit stop and gone a lap down. Kyle Busch in third has 6, 7, or 8 laps fresher tires than anybody else. What will they do? Caution! And that changes everything. Greg Galding brings out the caution flag with 21 laps to go.
Boy, really tough break for Chase Elliott right there. That is not what he wanted to see happen.
Nor, I think, what Kyle Busch wanted to see happen. He was content to go the distance without another stop and might have won this.
There were 2 guys that wanted to see that happen, and they're running first and second.
Rookie from Virginia.
Oh, this car just doesn't turn up the track and into the outside wall there. Had the look of it, maybe tire went down.
Well, we know pit road is going to be a busy place for our 16 drivers that are on the lead lap. Now, I assume Chase Elliott got the free pass. He'll come and get 4 more fresh tires. Joey Logano probably will take the wave around right here to try to get back on the lead lap. So, yeah, this could be the money stop right here for these pit crews. We talked about it at the top of the day.
Everything's on the line. Pit stops on the line. Don't speed. Don't beat yourself. We've seen that happen. Oh, you know, we saw it happen in Atlanta with Kevin Harvick. Don't beat yourself in this situation.
The caution flag works in Kyle Larson's favor. He's had difficulty getting to pit road and pit road speed under green. Now everybody be coming in at the same speed under caution.
You know what I'd be doing if I was in the pit? I'd be counting cars. I'd want to be sure that I didn't have to start on the inside. So when I got down the end of pit lane, I might want to check up a little bit.
Well, Truex's pit crew has been unbelievably flawless today. That's what I'd be worried about if I'm Kyle Larson. But Kyle Larson has that #1 pit stall. All he has to do is just launch straight out after having his pit stop to maintain that first position.
Martin Truex has the #1 pit stop.
Okay, lead lap cars to pit road with 20 laps to go. Jamie.
Yeah, the 78 hasn't had any clutch issues this week, so their pit crew could just focus on pitting the car, and they've done a heck of a job. Truex saying he lost the tires there a little bit battling the 42. 4 tires. He's so happy to see this caution come out. Meanwhile, Eric Jones, his teammate in the 77, a little bit loose, a little air pressure adjustment for him, and 4 tires as well. Matt?
And Mike Bugaravich in the 14, they were looking at trying to go to the finish. Clint Boyer says that he wants to reverse the changes it made because it makes him squirrely. His words, not mine. Meanwhile, the 18 of Kyle Busch, his balance goes a little bit more to the free side. He was going to try to run into the finish, as well as the 42 of Larson. His car a little tight down in the center of 1 and 2, an air pressure change on the 42.
Larson, Hamlin, and I wonder if Kyle Busch might have pedaled it a little bit. Well, no, he'll start third. He'll start on the inside. No.
78 had a slow stop. First one all day.
$18 laps to go in this home race for Monster Energy right in the backyard of Auto Club Speedway. They brought out all their friends and all their toys to wow the crowd in the fan zone during pre-race.
That thing right there drives me crazy.
You can do that, right, DW?
No, that makes me sick.
We can get.
I saw you do a backflip one time on a motorcycle.
I can see you. I can see you do that. Don't see me doing that.
We got some drama right here with 18 laps to go. Kyle Larson in front of Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. Let's look at the pit comparison between the 2 drivers prior to this caution flag. A long stop for Martin Truex Jr.
P7, just got hung up coming around the left front there. 4. I was a little deep too, sorry about that. 10-4, we've been creeping up on it, I should have said something.
They had a great day going.
Look at that.
We jinxed him, DW.
Look at that.
So Martin saying it was a little deep in the box, and the crew a little slow coming around the right
A little
front.
deep in the box can mess up a pit stop. You have to adjust.
Toyota top performers, they run 2-3-4 right now. Hamlin, Kenseth, and Kyle Busch. As this is going to be a 17-lap shootout. You can experience the action track chaos of Richmond Raceway, April 30th. It's the Toyota Owners 400. Visit RIR.com and get your tickets. Kyle Larson is your race leader. Here's his radio.
They don't start running better lap times than you until late in the run, well after 15 laps anyway. So nice and smooth here. Just get clear, hit your marks, clear sailing. Yeah, just run your race. Everything's out front here.
I like that. They're encouraging him, you know, do what you've been doing. Don't change anything up. Just go do your thing. You got a fast car.
He won yesterday, came in here as the favorite on Sunday in a race that had a little trouble getting off the ground. We had a kind of ragged start to the day on the initial green flag start, and then a caution at lap 4 as Brad Keselowski fell through the field. And other than that, this is the only other caution for an incident all day.
And remember who was on that inside lane at the start of the race that caused some of that bottle up? Denny Hamlin. He's back there again.
The inside lane has had trouble getting going on starts and restarts.
Pretty even right there, guys. Drag race.
Green flag.
Levitt putting that nose right up against the door of the 42, trying to slow him down, and Kyle Busch looking.
Everybody looking.
Little wiggle by Hamlin.
Oh,
gets
Hamlin
loose.
got. Oh man, Hamlin lost
gonna
a
get
bunch
by.
of time
Oh,
right there.
spin.
Trouble down the back.
Got to spin behind you.
Hard hit with the right front for Matt Kenseth. Or left front, rather.
They were just, I think that once again.
I am okay, but I wouldn't say I'm as okay as I was last week.
Well, you can tell he's had the breath knocked out of him, Matt Kenseth.
Scary impact.
But you know what caused that? The 11 over there trying to get by the 42, and he lost control and they had to bottle everything up.
Let's go back to the restart. There's Kenseth on the outside of row 2.
Yeah.
And Hamlin did a good job on this start. Didn't spin the tires. Actually made a good move down to the bottom in 1 and 2. You can see the 14 of Boyer blocking the 78. They get 4 or 5 wide. McMurray up to the high side.
Right up here, though, the 11 tries to get under the 42, and apparently must have lost it a little bit.
Well,
and
actually,
it
the
bottled
20
everything
gets
up.
3 wide in the middle, and the 78. I don't know if they touched, but he just took the back end. Just got him a little bit loose.
See, watch this 11 car. He almost has the pass made. He's underneath Larson, but when Larson goes by him, sucks him a little bit loose, pushes him up the hill. He's got to get out of the gas, and here comes everybody.
Yeah, that kind of roadblocks the outside lane.
So watch the 20 and see if they make contact. Yeah, a little bit of contact between Mark Truex Jr. and the 20 of Kenseth.
Boy, I tell you, and that's a hard lick right there for Matt Kenseth.
Really hard impact right here. You can see how this wall sticks out.
But man, it's
That's
a lot
where
better
the
than it used
safety
to be.
vehicles are at, but thankfully there's a safer barrier there.
Woo. Right in that left front.
Now, a number of drivers had taken the wave around to get back on
Clear high if you need it. Inside, time behind you. 2 wide spot up top. Okay, that'll be a wreck. 3 wide top. 3 wide top.
Brad Keselowski shoots right through.
Okay, that'll be a wreck.
It looks to me like Matt Kenseth realized the 1 of Jamie McMurray was coming on the outside. He's given him plenty of room, and at that same time, Truex was trying to make a move to his left rear, and they made contact.
21 only inside. So there's 78 backing up in a hurry here. Hold your line, hold your line, hold your line. Still inside. Middle.
It's a hard lick for Matt.
That is so good to see him get out.
Sure, you could tell it knocked the breath out of him. He could barely speak.
Pit road's open. We have some takers.
Dale Jr. is one of them.
Ricky Stenhouse, Trevor Bayne, Austin Dillon, Joey Logano's in. All the cars that took the wave around, which were Logano, Allmendinger, Newman, and Almirola, are all stopping because they couldn't get tires and take the wave around on the last caution.
Mike, there's things that we say a lot of times, like cautions breed cautions. You don't make this stuff up. You see this time and time again. You get everybody bunched up late in the race, everybody wanting to take and not give, and you have this happen.
And that's it, Jeff. Early in the race, you're going to give somebody a little room. Maybe you're going to ask for it back a little later. But with 16, 18 laps to go, No quarter given, none asked.
Well, and to DW's point, as those cautions fall later in the race, very little give and take, especially on a racetrack like this that offers 4 and 5 wide restarts.
Martin Truex audio. He's in 8th place now.
I don't know if I touched it or not. We came together in a bad spot, I guess.
Yeah, you know, Martin Truex Jr., he's one of the cleanest racers you will race with. I mean, he's a quality person, a quality race car driver. I promise you that was anything but intentional.
Well, guys, I guess it's about that time. You talked about cautions, reading cautions. If you look at our last 4 spring races here, which is when we went to 400 miles, the average of the last caution flag, lap 200, and as Chris Myers pointed out in the pre-race, last 3 races here, 3 overtimes.
What you're trying to say, Larry, is this is anything but over.
Yeah,
That's
well, I have a saying from back in the day, reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time.
Yeah, or maybe even a couple more times.
I think a couple more.
We're going from one of NASCAR's longest tracks to its absolute shortest next Sunday.
To Virginia we go for some short track racing in the Old Dominion State. Who will capture the checkered flag at the famed paperclip? Find out Sunday. Coverage of the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series racing from Martinsville, presented by AutoZone, begins with race day at 12:30 p.m. Eastern.
Mike, back in the day, Martinsville was one of the top 5 paying races that you could win.
Wow.
Clay Earls paid $50,000 to win that race, and it was real money. It wasn't contingencies or anything, and he always prided himself in that.
I would say now it's followed up by one of the top 5 trophies. That grandfather clock is so sought after and so prestigious. It's an honor to have one of those, and they'll all be going for it next week.
And you want to be there as the track celebrates its 70th anniversary this year. There's Chip Ganassi,
You talk
who
about a
owns
character.
the 1st and 5th place car at this moment.
That man is a character. You know, he drove 100 IndyCar races, drove some sports car series races. He has a pretty interesting driver resume along with his owner resume.
Let's take a look at stages and points earned today. Larson 1-2, Truex 1-2, Larson 2-1, totaling 19 points. So that will add to the season total. Points earned in stages 1 and 2. 13 laps to go. Our aerial coverage today provided by Goodyear. Everything they learn making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours. Goodyear, official tire of NASCAR.
Mike, I just look at this top 10 and it's amazing. I look at Boyer, and you know that Boyer has run in the top 5 more laps a day than he did in the last 52 races that he had been in.
Wow.
What a great day for him, sitting here running in 3rd place.
I know he's hoping that turns into a trend.
Keselowski, I mean, another guy that was wrecked. Top 10. Eric Jones, young guy, right there in 6th. And Blaney running 9th.
Well, I can't help but think right here on this restart, Kyle Larson's done a great job on these restarts, but he's going up against one of the absolute best and most aggressive restarters right there.
That man right
Kyle
there.
Busch.
You don't know where he's going to go on a restart.
We knew this was going to be come down between one of those Kyles.
Yeah, it's going to be a Kyle and Kyle show.
5 times recently. A lead change in the last 2 laps here. And 2 of those 5, Kyle Busch has ended up in victory lane. Matt Kenseth checked and released at the infield care center. That is very good news. After a hard hit at lap 185. Currently 12 to go. Lights out on the safety car. It'll be Larson outside of Kyle Busch, Chevy Toyota on the front row, Ford Toyota in row 2 with Boyer and Hamlin, Chevy Toyota, McMurray and Jones in row 3, Keselowski, Truex, Blaney and Kane, as we're now up to 21 lead lap cars to finish this off.
Now there really are 2 parts to a restart. We're talking about accelerating, not spinning those wheels. Get that launch going when you get the green flag. But then there's the second part of it. It's what you do once you get to turns 1 and 2, about carrying that momentum, which lane you're going to choose, and about getting back in the gas and carrying all that momentum up off the corner. And to me, there's 2 separate sides to this, and some do stage 1 better, some do stage 2 better. Kyle Busch seems to do them all pretty darn well.
Kyle Busch has no fear. When he gets to turn 1, he doesn't lift. And he'll go to that top or he'll go to that bottom and clear you and take off.
Green flag. 11 to go. Kyle Busch right even with Larson. High goes Hamlin. Trying to shoot the middle. Eric Jones. Casey Kane backing up. Martin Truex moving ahead. Truex into the top 6. With Jones. Drops to the bottom. He's on Boyer. Woo. Martin Truex. What a launch off turn 2 he got. Truex and Jones even for 4th. Off the corner. Larson. Busch slides high.
Whoa.
And here comes Hamlin.
Well, that's exactly what Kyle Larson wanted to see. Gives him a little bit of breathing room.
Well, you can just see who the aggressive drivers are on these restarts. I mean, Joey Logano, all of a sudden he's up there in 8th place. Where did he come from? These guys are going crazy.
And don't count out Truex yet.
Blaney and Logano both brushed the wall off turn 4 last time by. 10 to go. (21-22).
21 just slid right up in front of 22. 22 didn't like that. He dove down to the inside. Woo, that was close.
(9 to go). Boyer bottom feeding, trying to make something happen in 6th place.
Tell you one thing, that 78 car Truex, he is pedaling hard, man. He's trying to get around.
He's going to get to the
right here,
quarter
and I
panel
think he's
and
got him.
draft down the back straightaway on Hamlin here.
Well, that's hard to do when Hamlin has that launch in the high lane, but here comes Truex.
I don't know. Larson has gotten such a huge lead.
Spin, turn 2. Caution. Corey LaJoie. So, Larry Mack, caution with less than 10 laps to go. What do we do?
Hey, Larry, pull them belts tight one more time.
Right.
I'm not so sure somebody might not come down and get some tires here.
I don't think anybody up near the front will.
So, Larry, 8 laps to go. Caution again. Track position or tires? What do you want?
Well, the guys at the very front, they're in a box because we know some drivers that are back in the field, even just this few laps on their tires, they're going to be coming and getting 4 fresh tires, Mike. Kyle Larson, those guys up there, they're in a box because everybody else is going to do opposite of what they do.
Well, Joey Logano got tires at lap 186, and he climbed his way up to 5th place in this brief run. So, I don't know. I think I'd want tires.
Think back to last week. The guy that stayed out, Ryan Newman, no tires, won that race.
That race was a whole state away, Darrell. I don't know.
There's no way anybody's staying out this time and winning this race.
Hey, Joey Logano just restarted 16th with 4 fresh tires and ran his way up to 5th in less than a handful of laps.
He was coming in a hurry.
Well, who wouldn't be?
But I just don't know how you're going to come down pit road with this few laps to go. Maybe they will.
I think they will, DW. I mean, this to me is such a tough decision. Larry?
1 state away and a whole boxcar full of grip level away.
Well, there's that. Absolutely.
I guess you're right.
All right, what will they do?
Quite a few laps to go. I guess you're going to come.
It'll be boy! Tires for Larson, Hamlin, and Truex stay out.
That's what I'd have done. I don't know what everybody else. That's what I'd have done.
I think this is the right move by these guys on pit road. I really do.
McMurray, so only 3 drivers stay out.
Exactly.
That's all you need.
Matt?
And there was much debate on the radio, the 11, and you saw his final move for Denny Hamlin. He stayed out. They're waiting on the 42. Look for possibly a chassis adjustment. Looks like they're waving that off, but definitely pressure's up for the short run for the 42. Meanwhile, the 18 of Kyle Busch, he said he needed a slight adjustment to make his car better for the short run.
Now Kyle gets out second behind Kyle Larson. Kyle Busch, that is. Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch. But 3 drivers stayed out.
This is so much fun.
I just give Chad Johnson so much credit. That is the toughest call to make from the lead.
Am I not? I think I will. Not me.
At this point, Larson was fully committed.
You know why he stayed out? Because the 78 did.
Jamie.
And Martin Truex Jr. said, I'd love to have some new tires, but Cole Pearn said, no, let's stay out. Why the decision to stay out and not follow Larson?
Just decided to do something different. Hopefully, thinking we'd drag maybe about 10 of them. Obviously, it doesn't look too smart right now, but is what it is. We'll just try and make the most of it. 5 laps is an eternity here, so we'll see. Obviously not in a great spot, but who knows what happened.
At this point, do you think your car is good enough to overcome the tires?
Oh, probably not, but we'll see.
I love his honesty.
Yeah, that's an honest man.
But think about this. What happened on their last pit stop? What happened when the 78 came in last time?
And what we say earlier, he's got a win in the bank. He can afford to gamble.
And you heard what he said. He was hoping they would get maybe 7 or 8 others to stay out with him. That would have maybe held up those new tires up for just enough, maybe a lap, to get them a gap and maybe win this race.
Eric Jones has had a great race so far. They had an uncontrolled tire, so he'll start at the tail.
Oh, no, poor guy.
Kevin Harvick gets the free pass. He'll get back on the lead lap. And going back to the prior caution, Matt Kenseth's crash, Jamie Little caught up with him when he left the care center.
Well, Matt Kenseth been checked and released, and miraculously you're okay for the 2nd straight week. But what happened there once you got in the top 5?
Yeah, I didn't do a very good job of getting through the gears, which kind of got me in that spot. And the one got outside of me, and I was trying to leave enough room for him, and we're coming up to 3 wide off of turn 2. And I just got hit in the left rear and got turned around.
Matt Kenseth okay after this hard hit to the wall on the inside. 3rd DNF in 5 races for Matt Kenseth. Only had 4 of those in all of 2016. So Denny Hamlin will share the front row with Martin Truex for this restart. What's on the mind of Team 11?
No forward, stay. This would be my shot wheels. Oh yeah, I'm up for it. Get off turn 2 really good. 10-4.
I don't. It's last week. But that 42 car could have won the race last week if he hadn't gotten hit by the 17 on the restart. So things setting up very similar to last week.
Yeah, anything certainly can still happen. I just, to me, Kyle Larson's in a very, very good place. As long as that 11 gets a decent launch, once they get down to turns 1 and 2, the 42 is just going to go wherever the 11 doesn't go. The 11's got to worry about that 78 on his inside, but he better watch his mirror behind.
You better watch that 1 car on his inside, too.
Yes, Larson's got to battle his teammate McMurray, the 3rd car that stayed out. Green flag in the air. 5 laps to go.
Well, Hamlin didn't waste any time as I'm getting out of here.
Kyle Busch looking on the bottom. In front of him, McMurray, and here comes Larson. Wind him up, let him go.
No, what he's got to be careful is not to get boxed in. Oh, man, he's not going to get to the inside. I think
he's
he
in
really
the box.
wanted to make 3 wide.
He'll dive right down there. No, didn't make it.
He's going to have to go to the outside here.
But he's got so much grip, that outside ought to work pretty good for him.
Plenty of time. 4 laps to go.
Here.
3 wide, right behind him.
Look at Brad Keselowski on the outside, 3 wide, coming to 3rd.
And Ryan Blaney on the bottom, racing for 5th with McMurray.
Keselowski's car, heap is all beat up, and he's just digging.
Here goes Larson to the inside.
For the lead, Kyle Larson under Denny Hamlin.
Trouble, turn 2.
Ricky Stenhouse brings out the caution again.
Now the question is, was Larson ahead of Denny Hamlin when that caution came out?
At the last timing loop.
Yeah.
Before the caution.
Pretty sure he got clear of him before that happened.
So we go 180 laps with only 1 caution for contact, and now we've had 4 of them in a row. Larson is the race leader. Trevor Bayne's car all pancaked on the right side. So he and his teammate Stenhouse apparently involved. I'd say with 4 laps to go, we're going overtime.
Oh, me.
Boom. Oh, yeah. Bayne slid up into Stenhouse.
Watch the guy coming down. Check up. Go high. Go out.
Not sure if Casey Kane was involved or if he got away on that one.
To the quarter bumper. Keep saving.
That always makes for an interesting Monday morning meeting with the teammates.
Yeah, they were going to have 2 cars in the top 15. Not now.
Look at Chip. No, he was so happy, and then what? Not again.
It's never easy. They're never over until it's over.
You think Chip's kind of up on the chip?
Up on the chip.
Yeah. You think about Larson. What do you think's going through his mind right now? What if you were driving that 42 car and you were him? What would be going through your mind?
Well, I'd be pretty happy that I was able to clear the 11 right there and get the lead. Now I can control the restart. I think he's got this in hand by the 11. It's the 2 of Brad Keselowski back there that I'd be worried about. Yeah. That car is so fast on short runs, and this is going to come down just to, what, 1 or 2 laps.
So the cars with fresh tires are Larson the leader, Keselowski you mentioned in 3rd, Blaney in 5th, Bowyer in 6th, Logano in 7th, Elliott in 9th, and Kyle Busch in 10th.
Yeah,
they have the freshest tires.
I think that really what it's going to come down to is not another pit stop, surely.
Yeah, for some.
I think what it's going to come down to, though, is what kind of restart can Larson get here? Can he get ahead of Denny Hamlin enough that he doesn't have to worry with Hamlin going into turn 1?
Well,
that's going to be the deal.
I'd also hope that I get a good enough launch, and Hamlin maybe doesn't, that holds up Keselowski a little bit on that inside lane, because Keselowski, yeah, a little flashback here as well. Look who's starting behind Denny Hamlin on this restart, just like at the beginning of this race.
You know, you think about what happened over in Atlanta with these 2 guys, the 2 and the 42. 2 comes in, had trouble early on, just like today, got himself back in the race, and what did he do? He drove by the 42 at the end of the day and won the race.
Well, you know that Kyle Larson has been wanting to have that one over again. He might just get his chance right here today.
Okay, and y'all can say, well, that was Atlanta, and that's not. And last week was Atlanta. I know all that, but it's history, and you got to learn from your history.
But if Kyle Larson does not win this race, it'll be the 5th race of 5 this season that the seemingly dominant car in the closing laps doesn't go to victory lane.
That would just be phenomenal. We've never had that.
I don't think so.
Have you ever?
No, I never. Here's Denny Hamlin's team.
Can NASCAR get a hold of the field for laying, back? Can they say something about it? You can't lay back 2-car lengths. Yeah, I agree with you, bud. I know what you're saying.
You know what I say about that? He's got to be ready.
I don't know if anybody was laying back, but I know who took off.
He's got to be ready.
It's Denny Hamlin.
Well, here's that last restart.
Yeah.
So watch Hamlin and see what they're saying.
So,
Kyle
yeah,
Larson is a car length back.
And he was, and so was the 21, but he didn't get a run on him at all. There was no advantage whatsoever. I think Hamlin's just thinking for the next restart, hopefully they can prevent that from happening. I thought Denny handled that really well.
I thought those 2 Toyotas did a great job of trying to pin Larson up there where he had nowhere to go, at least for a while.
A little steam coming out of that 6 car. And, you know, look, you got 2 guys up there. It's got two guys up there got wins. They got absolutely nothing to lose. Poor Cole, he's gonna look like Larry before too long. No hair.
Here's audio from Martin Truex's team.
11 went way early on that start. Yeah, he was at the line. He just went in the backside of it. Okay.
Every driver.
In other words, expect the same.
Yeah, every driver is talking about the restart. What happened on that last restart? Who went? Who didn't go? Who was laying back? That's what you really got going through your mind right now. I got to nail this restart.
Yeah, and maybe I need to add a 3rd part to restarts, because there's one about wheel spin and getting up through the gears, another about getting through turns 1 and 2, and another part watching those gaps behind you as cars try to get a run on you and get that momentum.
Exactly. Barney Visser, he's a little, looks like he's thinking it all over here. Martin Truex's owner, great guy.
So we've had a restart on these tires. Are those lap 193 tires still that much better than Hamlin or Truex, who got tires at lap 181?
Cycles. I mean, once you heat them up and cool them down, they do lose some grip.
Yeah, but I also think that is also the case with Larson and Keselowski. I think this is actually even those tires out just slightly.
Now, the first car that just got tires is Chase Elliott back in 15th position. Inside row 8 for this restart as we go to overtime, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Boys, I love this.
Green,
this is so cool.
White, checkered.
Strategy.
If Kyle Larson's going to seal the deal, he will have earned this one. Yesterday's winner. He's been out front most of today, 106 laps, green flag.
Boy, once again, the 11 didn't get a great start. But I tell you, that 78 is pushing Larson into the corner. He dives under
to the inside. That's going to block the 2.
Whoa, it's going to get a little tight.
Yeah, that's exactly what Larson wanted to see.
Look at Boyer.
Here comes Boyer to second. Battling Keselowski with Larson out front. Logano looking for racing room in the middle. A lot of jostling mid-pack.
Yeah, once that 70, that 42 is long gone. Once you get that kind of lead, everybody's bottled up back here. You're not going to catch him.
Truex to fourth, McMurray fifth. Down on the grass is Ryan Blaney.
Boy, this is such tense racing when you're trying to come to the checkered flag, fighting for position.
White flag.
Woo! Now you just pack it in there and hope it sticks.
Remember Brad Keselowski won here 2 years ago, leading only the last lap. Back straightaway, final time.
I think we're past the overtime line. I think we're good to go here. And it looks like Mr. Larson is coming home.
Keselowski dives to the bottom. Not close enough. The California Kid, Kyle Larson, brings it off turn number 4. He, Chip Ganassi, and Chevrolet are going to victory lane in Fontana.
Good job, buddy. You better belt that thing down.
Brad Keselowski second. Clint Boyer third. Truex fourth. Logano fifth.
That's a
great job, boys.
That's your top 10, top of the screen.
That's a clean sweep for that 42 car for Larson. One yesterday, one today, won the pole.
Great job, Chad.
Second career win for Kyle Larson. Denny Hamlin gave it his all. He's going to end up 14th. Look at the number 11. You'll see why.
You think 4 wide works in the final corner? I don't think so. Boy, they just used them up right there. Ooh. Junior made a little contact there as well.
He was battling for 11.
I think Martin Truex Jr. deserves a lot of credit for bringing his car home in 4th by staying out.
Kyle Larson is now finished in the top 2 for the last 4 races. And 4 top 2s through the first 5 races in a season, tied for the second most all time. He's our 5th different winner, and Kyle Larson taking home the checkered flag is today's Sunoco fueling victory.
Well, DW, you got it done on the restart that time, a couple of them.
No, it's so much fun. I love the way this ended up.
Oh, man, I love this kid. What a talent. I think that's going to build a lot of confidence for him in this team, as well as that great call by Chad Johnson. That was gutsy. When you're leading the race and you can take tires and not take tires, that is the toughest position to be in.
In 20 years of this speedway, he is only the 2nd driver to win from the pole. Jimmy Johnson did it in 2008, as Larson does an Alan Kulwicki style Polish victory lap for the fans along the front stretch at Auto Club Speedway. Kyle Larson, your winner.
And Chip Ganassi, I'm sure he's yelling, "Go West, young man." His 24-year-old driver, Kyle Larson. Enough of the runner-up in victory lane in the 42. Target Chevrolet dominated this race. The first favorite to win this year. The 5th race of the season in victory lane. Matt Yoakum is there.
He first won at California's sister track, Michigan. Team effort. Chip Ganassi Racing. A hug from the boss.
Thanks.
Kyle, what were you thinking as each caution kept coming out? 6 there in the final third of the race.
I was staying as calm as I could be, but also frustrated at the same time. It seems like every time I get to the lead at the end of one of these things, a caution comes out and I got to fight people off on restarts. But our Target Chevy was amazing all day. We were able to lead a lot of laps today. Truex was better than us that second stage by quite a bit. We were able to get the jump on him the following restart and led pretty much the rest of the distance. So I had to fight him off there after the green flag stops, and that was a lot of fun. But can't thank Target enough, Credit One Bank, all of our partners, Chip Ganassi, Rob Coppin, Felix Sabates. I hope you're feeling better at home. Wish you were here. This is just amazing. We've been so good all year long, and 3 seconds in a row, and I've been watching all the TV, like, he doesn't know how to win, but we knew how to win today, so that was good.
You feel like the pressure's off because this was a total team effort. The over-the-wall guys were stellar. Great calls from on top of the box.
Yeah, no doubt. I made a mistake early in the race and lost a lot of track position sliding through my box, but they had awesome pit stops all day long. Great pit stops there at the end, especially, and our restarts were good. I spun my tires on a couple of them. Had to drag race Denny and Kyle into turn 1, but we had a good last restart, got some clean air, and came on to the win. So, like I said, can't thank everybody up here enough, and everybody at the shop too. They've been working their tails off all off season, and it's carried over into this year. So it's spectacular. All the hard work's paying off. Thank you.
And Martin Truex Jr. led 73 laps today, brought it home fourth. If you got those new tires at the end, would you had a shot at that?
I'd like to find out. I mean, I thought we had as good a car as the 42 all day at times, and sometimes better. So just depended on the road and the set of tires. I felt like we were better at times, and felt like he was better at times. Just really seemed like whoever got out front had a little advantage. But all in all, it was a good day. Sometimes you make the right call, sometimes you don't. Today we didn't, but to still be able to come home fourth was definitely a good way to end it. So sucks when you have to play defense at the end of these things. You always want to be the guy on offense. It's so much more fun. But just a great job by everybody all weekend on this Bass Pro Shops, Tracker Boats, Toyota. TRD horsepower was amazing, and we were able to get some good points today. So all in all, it was a success. Just stumbled a little bit there at the end when it mattered, and it's just the way it goes. But we got together with the 20 on that one restart there, and feel awful about that. I don't know whose fault it was. I think we were both kind of moving at the same time. I was still coming up. He started to come down. We got together, so I obviously got to go talk to him. Feel terrible about that, but all in all, it was a decent day.
Thanks, Martin. Vince?
Brad Keselowski brings it home second with a bunch of damage on the car. How'd you come back from that early incident in the trouble?
Just great perseverance by the team here at the Worth Ford Fusion. Wanted to win, but I got out of the car and looked at the damage. This thing's torn to pieces. I feel lucky to get second, and curious to see what we could have done if we weren't torn up. But great day for us to really persevere despite adversity. You're just going to have that in a 36 race season, so it's really important characteristic for your team, and proud of them for that.
Hard fought, second place for Brad Keselowski.
And Clint Bowyer brings it home in the top 5, third. How good does this feel? It's been a long time since you've been battling up there, up front with the guys.
Yeah, it has. Been beat up pretty bad lately over the last year and a half or so. It felt good to just be a part of the camera shot again, and to have Russ Truck Centers on board. Rusty is a good friend of everybody at Stewart-Haas Racing. Meant a lot to me to have him up front. I had a lot of people here in the suite and everything for them. But just thank you, Gene Haas, Tony Stewart, for giving me this opportunity to be in this 14 car, to have teammates like I have with Kevin Harvick, Danica and Kurt Busch. I mean, it's just, it's incredible. It's so much fun again, to be up there and in competitive cars and to be battling that again. Those cautions came, you knew all hell was going to break loose. It did. It was just a lot of fun. It really was. Just everybody that's a part of this, from Mobil 1 to Monster, everybody's part of Stewart-Haas Racing. It's fun, man.
Great to see you up front. Hopefully that's the beginning of many more to come. Chris?
All right, thanks, JB. But it's about Kyle Larson, who, after the more recent second-place finish, he said, if we just keep doing what we're doing, the wins are going to come. I could easily have 4 wins right now. He and his son, Owen, will settle for victory lane here at the Auto Club Speedway. More in a moment. For the 42 team, one big happy family earlier in the day watching the middle at the back end of the car. That's the 2-year-old son of Kyle Larson, Owen, helping dad. The team pushed the car, and he earned that victory. Michael Waltrip, that decision with 8 to go. When the caution comes out, Larson said, I had to fight people off every moment.
Chad Johnston knew that he had to come to pit lane, but can you imagine how difficult of a decision that was? Pulling out of the lead and wondering if everybody would come with you. He made the decision. That was the key to victory.
And for Martin Truex Jr., a little March sadness, the heartbreak, but Larson gets the win. Coming up next on Fox, The Simpsons, later Family Guy, Victory Lane. Note the time, 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, coming up on FS1. More from that young man. For Michael Waltrip, our entire gang, I'm Chris Myers. Have a good one.
Freeze up, eyes closed.